Good morning. Good morning, my friends. Today is Thursday, June 27th, 2024, also known as Groundhog Day. And here we sit on day 33 of the Karen Reid trial out of Norfolk Superior Court, Norfolk County, Massachusetts, in Dedham. And we are on verdict watch. It's Thursday. Did I say Thursday? I thought it was Wednesday, but it's Thursday. And the jury's had the case for, I don't know how many hours, what the clock is up to. Does anybody know? Who's keeping count of the clock? Yesterday, I think at end of day, it ended at 8 hours and 45 minutes. So if they've been deliberating since 9 a.m., maybe it's at 9 hours and 45 minutes. How's everyone doing? I didn't think it would take this long, but there's a lot of stuff for the jury to go through. And so we don't really know what's going on in that room. Maybe there's a holdout or two. But hopefully today will be the day that we will see a verdict. Thanks, Eddie, for becoming a new member. Welcome. Susan Agnello. I was going to write this. I was just about to talk about this, Susan. You're reading my mind. June 27th, that is today, is the saint day of Our Lady of Perpetual Help. This is why God postponed the day of the not guilty verdict. You know, the Reids, I believe, are Catholic, right? And today is the feast day of Our Lady of Perpetual Help. And she is, I pulled it up here, she's the patron saint of miracles and answers to prayer. So if anybody out there is of the Catholic faith, feel free to say some novenas for us and for Karen. You go light a candle. So yeah, wouldn't that be fitting, Susan? Thanks for the super chat. And Dennis, thank you for popping in from Canada with a super chat early in the morning. Super day of reckoning. Martina McBride. It's good. It's a good song choice. I'm just a girl in the world. Thank you. My girls had an amazing prom. They did. It's fun times. Thanks for the super chat. So they did have a little brief court appearance this morning, and the judge said be back at 10. So I don't know what that's all about, but I'll rewind court TV for you so we can just have something to look at while we wait. And Garrett Wing released a new video yesterday, which I posted on my community page. He's the canine handler that I had on my show all the way back in January after I was attempted to be publicly shamed by that woman who says she used to work for the FBI on court TV when I said the injuries to Officer O'Keefe's arm look like it came from a dog attack. And she said, everyone who doesn't have a PhD thinks they know where those arm marks came from. It's ridiculous. And Garrett Wing is a canine handler. He has a YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers, maybe closer to 2 million subscribers. He does training videos for canines. And he released another video yesterday on specifically the Karen Reid case. So I'm so glad that he's chiming in again. Made me happy to see. All right, so this is what happened earlier this morning at 9 a.m. when they just came into court to start the morning. Mr. O'Keefe is there today. That's interesting. He hasn't been there for a while, right?
Hey. All persons have any business before the Honorable Beverly Cannoli, Justice of the Norfolk Superior Court, in the County of Norfolk. Draw near, give your attendance, and shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This court is now open. You may be seated.
22-117, the Commonwealth versus Karen Reid.
All right. Good morning, counsel. Good morning, Ms. Reid. Good morning, jurors. I have those same 3 questions for you. Were you all able to follow the instructions and refrain from discussing this case with anyone since we left yesterday? Everyone said yes or nodded affirmatively. Were you also able to follow the instructions and refrain from doing any independent research or investigation into this case? Everyone said yes or nodded affirmatively. Did anyone happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case since we left here yesterday? Everyone said no or shook their hands. All right, with that, Mr. Foreman, I'm sending you and the rest of the jurors out to deliberate.
All right, jury up, please.
And that was it, short and sweet. She sent them back out to deliberate. Let's Paul O'Keefe, John's brother. I don't see any of the Alberts or McCabe's in the courtroom today. So there's that.
May be seated.
All right, same as yesterday. Please stay in the building until 10 o'clock. Be back here at 3:30. If you leave the building, let the court officers know where you're going to be, and be prepared to be back in your seats within 5 minutes. Okay? Thank you.
All rise for the court, please.
So stay in the building. Stay in the building until 10. Maybe they'll come back at 10 and just do something on the record. Well, we're here for it. We'll see. I have it up on my second screen, so never fear. You can come right back to it. Glad Court TV is doing this today because yesterday we had to watch Boston 10 and their audio isn't that great. But actually yesterday was pretty good, right? So I don't know what that means. Come back at 10. Anybody's guess? And having to be back in 5 minutes it's a very short time frame. Usually they give attorneys like at least a half an hour to get back. There's not, I mean, is there a lot of stuff? I mean, when I went to court in Norfolk about however long ago that was, a week ago, last Friday, 10 days ago, something. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot of stuff around the courthouse to do or to walk to be able to eat or anything. So having to be back in 5 minutes doesn't give them a lot of options. I know they've got a place set up right across the street where they go and have lunch and stuff, but in the church, actually, coincidentally, I don't know what denomination the church is. Don't go to the chat in Court TV because I don't think they have any moderators and you will not be happy there. I've been watching the chat while I was waiting to come on and it's insane what's happening there. Don't do it. Mystery, I believe they are taking the weight of their decision seriously and going through the evidence, still not guilty in the end. Thank you, Mystery, for that and for your super chat. Hi, Melissa. How you look great this morning. Thank you. Love this chat. Oh, we love it too. Thanks, Melissa. We love it. It finally cooled off here. It was so hot yesterday and humid and the air was so thick. And then last night we had some wicked thunderstorms. And today it's nice and cool. So thanks. Praise be for that. Gina says, mainly women jurors halfway through, but now 6 men and 6 women. How did that happen? And how was prom? Great. And originally, I think there were 10 women and 7 men, right? And then 1 woman was excused. So we were down to 1 woman, 9 women and 6 men. And the 2 alternates that were picked out of their random draw were both women. So we're left with 6 women and 6 men on the jury. And there is a man who is the foreperson of the jury, foreman, we can call him because he is a man. And he was in seat number 1 and the judge chose him before the alternates were chosen. Karen, thanks for becoming a member. Embarrassed to be a Massachusetts resident. I'm so sorry, but thanks for the super chat. Add Kings and Queens by Ava Max to playlist to show Queen supporting Karen Reed. Queens, Kings and Queens. This playlist is going to be 17 hours long by the time we're done, you guys. I think it's already like 7 hours long, but we've made a mixtape for this trial because I think in song lyrics. And so every time I would think of a song would pop into my head during the testimony, I would add it to a Spotify playlist. I'll pin it in the chat in a few minutes. Kings and Queens. Justini, thanks for saying happy anniversary and thanks for the 20. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of the first video I ever posted on my own channel. And it was a series on the Kevin Costner divorce. So we realized that yesterday. I thought, wouldn't that be crazy if the verdict came in on my 1-year anniversary of being a YouTuber, law-tuber, chick who just goes on the internet and screams into a closet. That's me. Thanks. Thanks, Justini. I appreciate you. And all of you who watch me and listen with me and commiserate with me. And on top for always being on top of that super sticker first thing in the morning. Thank you so much. Laura Liz, if I were a juror, I wouldn't have even wanted to come back with a verdict with the McAlbertson court. Yeah. I mean, did they think that that was going to be a good idea to show up? Jen McCabe, flanked by Colin Albert and Brian Albert. And then Carrie Roberts on the other side of Brian Albert. I mean, Brian Albert and Colin Albert didn't even know John O'Keefe, allegedly, right? Why would they be showing up to sit there behind the family as if to indicate or signal that the family didn't think Brian Albert and Colin Albert were the third party culprits, right? Because that was the defense's theory. And we know that because in June, when Karen was arrested and brought down to the precinct to upgrade her charges to second-degree murder in June of 2022, there's video, but the jury only heard the audio of Karen saying to Buchanan, like, why am I here? And then she says, we're all in on the same joke, right? Brian and Colin Albert beat up John. My taillight was cracked and John was pulverized. So the fact that they showed up in court, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know whose idea it was. As if to say, the O'Keefes don't think we did it, so how could you? As if to say, we're watching you, jury, because they were sitting right across from the jury. That's the configuration of that courtroom. Karen's family, they have 10 seats that are right behind where Karen sits. And then to Karen's left, there are 10 seats for the O'Keefe family. Behind that is sort of like a high top bar seating for 10 members of the media. And then directly across from that is where the jury sits. It's a very small courtroom. There are no public seating. There's no public seating available. So you have to be invited by a member of the O'Keefe family or the Reed family to even get a seat in the courtroom, unless you're media. And if you're media, you have to sit outside all night in a chair because it's the first come, first serve on media passes. Thanks, Karen, for becoming a member. Welcome. Who's the guy in the blue shirt? I don't know. Are you talking about Paul O'Keefe, John O'Keefe's brother? I don't remember who had the blue shirt on, but maybe someone can help who knew. Figure that out. Oh, thank you, Crime Girl 420, for the super chat. Happy 1-year anniversary. You deserve all the success. Thank you. You're very sweet. Allison, thank you. Thank you for getting us through this. Thank you, Allison, for the super chat. Harry became a new member. Welcome, Harry. Dewey, Tom Petty, the waiting is the hardest part. It's on there. It's on there, but I don't think Patience by Guns N' Roses is on there, and that's a good one. But the Tom Petty song is definitely on there. Love me some Tom Petty. Eileen, thank you for the super sticker. And Juan says, hello from South Africa. Karen Reed Innocent, free Karen Reed. Thank you for coming in with a super chat. And thank you for watching from South Africa. We have so many international viewers. So many. Tell me in the chat where you're watching from. We have a huge viewership from Ireland, Scotland, other parts of the UK. We have so many viewers from South Africa, from Australia, from Europe, Italy, France. You guys are worldwide, and the world is watching. And the world knows Karen Reed could be any one of us. Any one of us. Thank you, Maureen Francis, for coming in with a cash app. Let me turn off this vibrate. It's going to make me crazy. Look at Core TV putting comments up on the screen. Never seen that before. That must be a new thing for them. Maybe they do have moderators. They just don't have any rules, really. I don't know. I don't know how they do it over there. New Hampshire woman, hello, good morning. Waiting with a huge pit in my stomach. Oh, I think you're not alone. Debbie, member for 6 months. Can't believe it's been a year already. Congratulations, Cupcake Queen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a ride. It's been a long, strange trip, my friends. What a long, strange trip it's been. And this case has really taken it out of me and out of all of you. The prom was awesome. They had a wonderful time. New Bedford. Yeah, the New Bedford highway killings or something else that need to be dug into, because I believe that Rex Heuermann, who is the alleged Lisk, I'm just going to say for the first beginning of this stream, has just been charged with 2 additional killings. And I believe that he may be one of the most prolific SKs of all time. And I think New Bedford needs some more digging into. What say you? Alabama. Cam, good morning, Cam. Are you studying for the bar? Hearing rumors of attorneys and an ex-cop on the jury would make me question the competence of the Commonwealth knowing their case. I don't know if that's true, but right. I don't know the makeup of the jury either, but I think I heard that there was at least one lawyer on the panel and somebody in law enforcement, right? And somebody maybe in the medical field. Like, there's not a lot that we know. And I think as lawyers, we're taught to think analytically and logically, and it just doesn't add up for me. Jessica, thanks so much for your super sticker. I mean, for me, it's always been about the injuries. I've been screaming that for a very, very long time. The injuries don't line up with a pedestrian versus car motor vehicle accident. They just don't. And if the jury comes to the conclusion that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car, that's it. It's over. Every single charge involves a motor vehicle accident. And so if the jury comes to the conclusion that he was not hit by a car, it is over. So maybe there are 1 or 2 jurors who do believe that it could be possible. Yesterday, they had one jury question yesterday. They had asked the judge to provide them with the CERT report, SERT, search and rescue team report. And that's the team that showed up at 34 Fairview around 5:41, I think, was when their team was assembled. And I think it was Lieutenant Kevin O'Hara who was the witness for the CERT team. And he even said there were a couple of men on scene. He didn't know who they were, even though he was in charge of the scene, set up the command post in his vehicle. And the jury wanted to see the CERT report. And the CERT report, if it existed, would have indicated the finding of the initial taillight pieces and what time they were found, whether they were documented. And it's not in evidence. So the judge told them, no, you can't see it. So what does that say to you that they're asking for that report? Last night, I theorized that maybe there was one juror who might have believed that there was a car accident because the CERT team started finding taillight pieces. And maybe there was a question about when the car got to the Sally port versus what time those taillight pieces started revealing themselves, if you will. And so maybe they wanted to show that juror, or vice versa, that the taillight pieces were collected after or before the car arrived at the Sally port. So I don't know. What say you? Solomon Landscaping, thanks. Thank you, Solomon Landscaping, for the 10. Jessica says, so happy to have found you. Really enjoying listening to you. So much better than watching a fan spin while we wait. I know, we just hang out. Just like a bunch of besties that hang out and chit chat together while we're waiting. Keep each other sane. Oh, so positive. That's a great name. What a positive name. But there are all kinds of attorneys. If it's a bankruptcy attorney or real estate attorney, they might not be any better at assessing criminal cases than anyone else. Correct. But I think also in order to pass a bar exam, there's an entire section on logic. Like, you need to have logic skills, critical thinking skills. But yes, I unfortunately never get picked for jury duty. And I would love to serve on a jury. I'd be very happy. I'd love to see the dynamics of what happens in a jury room. I'd love to be a fly on the wall, but I get called for jury duty and I go. And I sit there and they call me up and they question me, and they either know me and say, goodbye, Melanie, you can go. Or after questioning, they do not want a plaintiff's lawyer on their panel for many reasons, depending on the case. But I would like to be called on a criminal case. Why can't they call me on a criminal case? Michael, Melanie, seriously, Auntie Bev gave instructions to the jury that the attorneys may have lied during their closing. Why would this ever be allowed in a court of law? She gave instructions to the jury that the attorneys may have lied during their closing. I think she said that what the attorneys say in their closing is not evidence. So if you do not believe that what they said in their closing lines up with the evidence, you can disregard it. But I don't think she actually said the attorneys may have lied in their closing. That would be completely improper. Tara Mama, I will say this. I was accused of this, and I know I didn't do it, and all the garbage they put me through, I would react however I wanted to. I wouldn't be silenced. Karen had that right. Yeah. Right, Todd, I agree with you. I think Todd says, I think the jury is sidetracked. They don't have to rule third party only if John was hit by Karen and her SUV. Right. Right. That's the first thing, in my opinion, they should be deciding is whether or not they believe John O'Keefe was hit by a car. If everyone says no, it should end there. So I don't know what the foreman's background is. I don't know. And the judge instructed them, she didn't think it would be wise of them to go in and do a straw poll, which is when everyone just writes guilty or not guilty down on a piece of paper, basically, and they throw it in a hat and read them all out. But that's the way a lot of juries get started in deliberations, I think. Look, I've never been on a jury. So anybody who's been on jury duty in a major case, like a murder case, chime in the chat and let us know what happened. Oh, the fan's up. Germany in the house, Northern Empire. Thank you. Love your channel. Love you for watching. Hello, Germany. All right. Well, fan's up. So maybe they're going to come in and say something. We'll see. Everyone hit the like button while we're here, or I'll full screen this fan for the next 10 minutes. Guide your actions accordingly. Catherine, thanks for the 10. What options can the jury come back with? What happens if she's found guilty on one of the lesser? I got so confused by the verdict slip and what happens from here. Thank you from Texas. Hello, Texas. That's right. You're not from Texas. That's a great song by Lyle Lovett. Love Lyle Lovett. Remember when he was married to Julia Roberts? Wasn't that crazy? So long ago. Nobody could believe it, but I believe it. I mean, Lyle Lovett has his charisma. He's a great singer, great songwriter. So they can come back with not guilty on everything or on guilty of one of the charges or one of the lesser includeds. And then what happens from there is they would set a date for sentencing if she was found guilty on any of those charges. And if she was, she would either be remanded to jail awaiting sentencing or allowed to remain out on bail. She has posted at least, I think, $80,000. I think it was $100,000 in the beginning. Then I think they reduced it. Thanks, Boo J, for your super sticker from Canada. Jessica Sparks, do we really trust jurors to go home and not watch anything or talk about the case? Why not have them to stay somewhere during the deliberation, right? Sometimes juries are sequestered in a hotel during deliberations. They were in the Chad Daybell trial. So that's a great question. I was kind of concerned about their safety myself, and I don't know why they weren't sequestered. I don't know if that is something that is ever done in Massachusetts, because as we have heard from the judge directly, this is the way we do it in Massachusetts. Seems to be a common theme, and Massachusetts has a lot of, I'm just going to take this off right now, a lot of weird rules that other jurisdictions don't have. In New York, going into jury duty or after jury selection, going into the trial whether or not you're an alternate. That is something they do not do in Massachusetts. They choose their alternates after the close of evidence. And I think it's really better that way, because if you're an alternate during the whole entire trial, you might just kind of tune out to be like, oh, I'm not going to be able to deliberate anyway. What's the point of listening, So I think that is good. Here in New York, whoever sits in seat number 1 on the jury is automatically the foreperson. In Massachusetts, apparently the judge chooses the foreperson. And I don't know if you guys sequester in Massachusetts, but it is often done in high profile cases for the safety of the jury. And also because I think if they are sequestered in a hotel, they may come to a verdict sooner because they have more time to deliberate. They can deliberate on the off hours. They don't all split up and go home at the end of the day. And again, I'm going to recommend this again. If you haven't watched Jury Duty on Amazon Prime, go do it. It's awesome. It's a show about a guy who thinks he's on jury duty, but everyone else in the courthouse is really an actor. So it's kind of like a candid camera type reality show. And it's hilarious and it's heartwarming and it's such a great series. It was nominated for an Emmy for best, I think, best comedy series or limited series or something. And it was so good and so funny. If you guys watched it, do you remember the chair pants guy, the guy with the chair pants? He made pants with a chair on the back. Somebody said Massachusetts does not sequester, but the chat's moving quickly. Jury duty was amazing. James Marsden was so good. He was so good. He plays himself on jury duty like the most egotistical, narcissistic version of himself. And he was great. He was so good. He was so good. Owling Dog Design, thanks for the time. Ellen, do you think it's possible jurors were implanted? I don't think so. Like planted on the jury? I don't think so. But nothing surprises me in this case. It's been a case of shock and horror from the beginning. I think Jennifer McCabe had something, she said one thing that maybe we can resonate with. And shock and horror is how we all feel that this case was even indicted, no less brought to trial in front of the world. Emma, thank you for your super chat. Melanie, can you play your day 19 stream of Cirque Guy? Now the case is done. You can catch a lot. I listened last night. Oh yeah, day 19? And was that was Kevin O'Hara? We'll see what happens if they're going to come in at 10 and talk about what's going to happen next. I think that might be a great idea. Thank you, Emma Grant. Good morning, Cindy. Thanks for your super chat. The lesser included manslaughter in Massachusetts is 20 years, but no minimum. Second degree murder is 20 years with 5 minimum, I believe. I think second degree murder carries a potential of life in prison, but if you're a Massachusetts lawyer, I will defer to you. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Tralala, thanks for the 5. I used to be an insurance adjuster in New York and was a foreperson on a motor vehicle accident case in New York. I was surprised I was called. I would be surprised that you'll be called too. Knowing so much about claims, and especially if you were a car accident claims adjuster, that's really interesting. Cam Marshall, thank you for popping in from down under and with the super chat. Hopefully this case is going to give the Sandra Birchmore case a boost it needs into the public domain. Yep. I have the documents on the Sandra Birchmore case, and after this case is over and I take a little break, we're going to come back and go over that civil case. Right now it's a civil lawsuit. A lot of people are confused about, and a lot of you sent me information about the Sandra Birchmore case and told me or thought that it was now being considered a homicide by law enforcement, and that's not exactly accurate. So there is a wrongful death lawsuit by the estate of Sandra Birchmore against various players in and around Canton, maybe the Canton Police Department. Haven't even looked at the complaint yet. But in that civil case, the plaintiff's attorney, which means the family, hired Dr. Michael Bodden, who's a world-renowned pathologist, medical examiner. He's been around since OJ and beyond. He's been around forever. And Michael Bodden took a look at the autopsy report and various records in the case, and he came to the conclusion that the Sandra Birchmore case was a homicide. So that is where that stands right now. And for him to come to that conclusion during this case was probably good timing when everybody's thinking about Canton PD and Trooperino, because Trooperino, the Trooper Guarino in this case, was also the cell phone forensic expert in the Sandra Birchmore case. So we'll get into that more when this is over and we can breathe. Buzzing for truth. The feds have already been pulling people in. I don't know what that means, but they definitely pulled people in to testify in front of the federal grand jury. So I cannot confirm or deny buzzing for truth, but thank you for that. I don't know how you know, but if you know, maybe you know, but Kika 0503 with a $300 super chat. What? Thank you. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Served on grand jury in Connecticut back in the 80s. It was federal investigation of bid rigging in the road paving industry. Took several months. go to court a few days each month. We delivered indictments. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. You're so kind and generous. You guys on this case have been amazing, amazingly kind and generous. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yeah. Grand juries, if you're called to the grand jury, oftentimes you do serve for several months. And you go to court for a couple days a month, and you could hear many cases, not just one. So that is really interesting info. And you probably felt in danger a little bit, knowing that some of the characters in the road paving industry might, have some nefarious activities perhaps in their background. Who knows? Well, they just took the fan down. So I don't know what that means, but this is verdict clock. 9 hours and 39 minutes. And again, Kika0503, thank you so much. You're so generous. Go Georgia. Hello to Down Under. What influence does the jury foreman four-person have? Also, bailiffs. A lot of people saw one pass a note to Brian Albert, as well as the notes Brian and Jen sent to each other. So high school. They were sending notes to each other? Jennifer McCabe and Brian Albert, really? I didn't catch that. And then somebody did say the bailiff passed a note to Brian Albert. I don't know what that meant either, but they did get a police escort in and out of the courthouse. What influence does the foreman have? The foreman's like the organizer, or as they started to call Proctor, like the case investigator, just kind of like is the person who I don't know that they have more influence than any of the other jurors, but they do organize what's happening back there. And if there's a note to be sent out to the judge, they write the note, they send out the note. Yeah, this is a great song, Alcohol by Bare Naked Ladies. Thank you very much for that. Gaelic Magic. Buzzing for Truth says a very credible source gave you the information the feds have been pulling people in. Well, we can only hope. Today's the feast day of Our Lady of Perpetual Help, so perhaps we'll see a miracle happen today. Who knows? Auntie Bev's verdict form. Thank you for the Canadian super chat. Jury deliberations. Casey Anthony, 11 hours. Kyle Rittenhouse, 27 hours. OJ, 4 hours. George Z, 16 hours. Michael Jackson, I think that says Michael Jackson, right? 32 hours. Derek C, 10 hours. Jodi Arias, 15 hours. And Robert D, 7 hours. And those are all not guilty verdicts, right? And Auntie Bev's verdict form coming in with the statistics, let's say. Thank you for the super chat. That's great to know. I'm going to keep that one up here for later in case we need to refer back. Bulldog Mom. Kurt, uncivil law, thinks there could be a habeas appeal here. Your opinion? I work in the PDR industry. I've seen a lot of cracked tail lamps. Baseball-sized hail at 50 mile an hour. Cracks don't destroy. Kurt is the appellate lawyer. I defer to him on all matters of appeal. So if he says that, I'm going to say that he knows what he's talking about. That's his wheelhouse. That's his jam. That's what he mostly reports on. His channel is Uncivil Law. If you're not subscribed, if you do not mind the language, we don't use the language over here. Let's just call it the language. He's a genius when it comes to dissecting Supreme Court arguments and Supreme Court opinions, and he does that a lot on his channel. So if he says so, I'm going to concur. Albert, thanks for the super chat. Easy verdict in my eyes. Say no to being hit with a car, then all the charges are not guilty because all charges include vehicle being used to do the crime, right? That's exactly what I've been saying. And that's the one thing I couldn't get over this entire case is that I don't think he was hit by a car. Carol, Melanie, what time zone are you in? I am in Eastern time. I'm in Eastern time. It's 10:35. I'm in New York. You are correct. Carol, thank you for the 10. Robin, welcome. It's a membership. Not Canton. Stoughton. What are we talking about? Sandra Birchmore? Did it happen in Canton? Was it Stoughton police, not the Canton police? I believe it was the Canton police that investigated it because we got the same guys. Or was it in Stoughton? The Massachusetts State Police. But Kevin Albert was involved somehow in the investigation. I don't know. I don't know, Dan 617. Yeah, thank you. Sandra Birchmore was from Stoughton, but died in her condo in Canton. Right. That's why Canton PD investigated it. Right. Lank was on that case too. Correct. Gen X 1968 says Canton and surrounding areas have been corrupt for decades. They are all exposed now. That's what people say. That's what people from the area believe. And who am I to disagree? Marina says, I'm not able to serve on jury duty because I'm the sole caretaker of my handicapped daughter. I'm sorry about that. I hope your daughter is doing well. Sandy Grog is now calling the meeting of the Rage Crochet Club. The Rage Crochet Club is now in session. Members may commence. And she says, I think Canton police were involved somehow. Order by Sandy from Cincinnati. Sandy from Cincinnati is ordering you guys to commence your Rage Crochet. Jody Harris was guilty. All right, so that wasn't people that were all not guilty. Okay, got it. Oh, it was the Stoughton police that groomed her. Okay, got it. Stoughton police that groomed her, but the investigation was handled by Canton because that's where her body was found. So we're clear. Just so that we're clear. Emmy, good morning. It's worth noting that the phones suddenly getting rehomed in the Reed case coincide with when Internal Affairs would have been starting the Birchmore investigation. The phone's suddenly getting rehomed in the Reed case, yeah. Right. When Brian Albert and Brian Higgins, at least Brian Higgins cracked the SIM card of his phone and threw it in a dumpster, in 2 different dumpsters on a military base in Cape Cod. Around that time, right before they got served with the preservation order to not destroy their TVs. I mean, their TVs, their phones. I'm looking at the TV. Yeah, that is worth noting 100%. Robin, thanks for becoming a new member. Appreciate you. Ginty, thank you for keeping this keeping this watch live. Well, it's a good place to come and vent, I suppose, while we're waiting. I'll be here for as long as I can. Rob Mayo, thanks for the super chat playlist Pitbull. I believe that we will win. There you go. Connie, cruel the judge to instruct no quick results. She did say take your time with the evidence. I mean, look, if they came in with an initial vote of he didn't get hit by a car, they would have been out by now. There could be at least one holdout in there. We don't know. Prestige Worldwide, good morning. Thanks for the 10. I served on a jury for a murder case this past November. We started by going around the table, taking a poll. P.S. The presiding female judge was very professional and inspiring. Yeah. Those of you who watch a lot of trials may know, you've pointed out differences between judges in other trials and the judge here. A lot of people think Judge Newman in the Murdoch case was a great judge. And we watched the Mile trial together. We recapped it anyway, the Kowalski versus Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital case out of Florida. That was a civil case. Judge Hunter Carroll, I thought, was very excellent. He had a great demeanor. He was very fair. Bulldog Mom, welcome, became a new member. Chloe Albert's Revenge. Good morning, Chloe. Chloe got a bad rap in this case. Lank has a bite history too. That's right. Lank did bite one of the Lopalato brothers, all the way back when he inserted himself in that case involving, guess who? An Albert. That's right. Thanks, Chloe, for the super chat. Kelly, I rage crocheted an entire blanket and gave it to Karen Reed. Oh, you did? Oh, that is so nice of you. Thanks for the super chat. Lisa, thank you. I've been watching since the beginning, but I don't always participate in the chat because I'm working. I watch you every single day. Keep up being classy. Thanks. So I don't use the cursey words because you guys that are watching at work or with your kids like to watch it without headphones. And was it sharing, Sharon? Somebody told me that they love to watch true crime with their 95-year-old mom. And finally, she has a place to watch it where there's no language. So that's what we do here. So please keep the chat classy. Thank you. Not Squirrel. Thanks for the 10. Videos played in court or snippets. Does the entire video go to the jurors to view if they choose? I asked because a snowplow is in the dash cam at 6:08 a.m. and Lally cut it before 6 a.m. Thank you. It depends on what both sides agreed was going to be admitted into evidence or what the judge ruled on what was going to be admitted into evidence. So if the entire video was admitted and he only played one portion of it, yes, they will get the entire video to bring back with them and rewatch. If the reverse is true, then no, they will not. But that is interesting information. I know some of you are participants on the cesspool of Twitter. So if there is anything breaking, you may repost it in the chat. Mike and Nev, in the words of the great anchorman Ron Burgundy, stay classy. Stay classy, my friends. Will Ferrell is one of my absolute favorites. I love Will Ferrell. I do. And I'm just going to say it. Mint says, for us, the opinion of the experts hired by the FBI carries a lot of weight, but the jury doesn't know. If I heard that they were not paid by them either, I would just be confused. Yeah, except for Ryan Nagel in his testimony mentioned the feds and the FBI. So maybe it's in their head, right? Or maybe they think it's like an insurance company that investigated it. So you're right. I don't know if they caught Ryan Nagel talking about the FBI. And we don't know what they're thinking. But remember also that so many of you and us and me know so much more about this case than the jury does. If they were selected properly and they knew nothing about the case going in, we've dissected every single court document. We've dissected every single pretrial motion, every single pretrial hearing, all the police reports we could get our hands on, all the witness statements with their many, many, many inconsistencies. And the jury doesn't know as much as we do. So it's a lot. It's a lot. If you've tried to explain the Karen Reed case to a friend, it would take days and hours. So it's kind of like you can only discuss the case with people who know as much about it as you do, because if you know, you know. And we know so much more than the jury knows. So for us, we think, oh, but it's so obvious. It's so easy. He obviously wasn't hit by a car. They've got to start from the beginning and they've got to sift through it all. So I've been with you talking about this case since January. So like almost 6 months. And they've only been there for, 9 hours. Think about that. Think about how much there is to go through. Right? Oh, here's the DUI guy. Hey, Larry. Verdict watch. Hell yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing, DUI guy? This is insane, isn't it? Around the world, Bev sounded like she was in 3rd grade. Yeah, or she sounded like she was like a 3rd grade teacher, right? Something funny, Miss Reed? Go down to the principal's office. I'll see you after school for detention. Yeah, it kind of sounded like that, right? Joelle, definitely into Will Ferrell. Albert says, Auntie Deb's parody as Brian Higgins with throwing away phones on military base had me dying. Military base, place to put your trash. Military bands, Brian. Auntie Deb came on with me the other day and he was hilarious. He did some comedy for us during the verdict watch on, I don't know, what day was that? Tuesday? So funny. Cheryl, I was on a high-profile double murder trial, one unsure juror, so we spent 8 hours going over all the evidence and convicted. See, there you go. There you go. So, in my opinion, I think perhaps it's got to be unanimous. All 12 people have to agree on guilty or not guilty. So if it doesn't happen immediately and there's one or two holdouts, the rest of them try to convince the juror why they think they're right and that juror is wrong. And if they can't agree after whatever time the judge deems reasonable, then you have a hung jury. But high profile double murder, that's very interesting. 8 hours conviction. I wonder where were you, Cheryl? What jurisdiction can you say? What state you were in, or that's interesting. Bunny, good morning and thank you. Was the instruction confusing for the jury yesterday? Don't understand why Bev didn't specify that they could choose a not guilty verdict after each charge. Because that's the way it's always done in Massachusetts. And then she said, right, Mr. Yannetti? And he said, no, actually, Judge, I've never seen that before. And she's laughed and she said, you've never had a case with lesser included before? And he said, no, actually, I have. There's always a not guilty option on the lesser included. So after a little timeout, Judge Canoni came back and decided to reverse herself, given an additional instruction and revise the verdict slip. But she did say, I need an agreement that the original verdict slip was proper to the attorneys, and they had to agree to avoid any appellate issues. Kristen, thank you for the 20 super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. We have so many Kristens and Kirstens in this chat, right? If you're a Kristen or a Kirsten, just put like a wave in the chat because there are so many. In fact, one of you commented on I think maybe it was in yesterday's chat, that she couldn't believe how many Kirstens were in this chat. Thank you, Kristen. Hello, Elf. Good morning. Did anyone ever explain what time Higgins' truck was removed in relation to the timeline? No. Did Lally Flop even put on his timeline what time Karen's car hit John? No. Nope. Let's have some nope emojis in the chat, members. We have a whole section of emojis, especially for this trial. And that is one of the benefits of being a member. We've got the Twilight Zone emojis, because from the beginning, we thought we were in the Twilight Zone. We've got a solo cup. We've got what, if any? We've got wait for us. We've got a puffy jacket. Remember that puffy jacket that firefighter Timothy Nuttall was so convinced that Officer Don O'Keefe was wearing when he came to do the life-saving measures on him? He was so convinced that he had on a puffy jacket. And he even said, we can't cut those puffy jackets off with trauma shears because they make a mess. So I remember taking it off of him, and it was hard to get off because his arms and hands were stiff. He was going to die on that hill of the puffy jacket. We have a leaf blower. We have word salad. We have salad for Lally. We have a sigh emoji for the heavy breathing. We've got smooth as butter for Alan Jackson, because I've called him smooth as butter since we first met him in this trial. Lies, lies, lies by the Thompson Show. We are outraged. It's a fun time over here because we don't keep each other laughing, we're going to cry. So there is some comedy involved. There's a troll emoji too, which I put here. Yep, the puffy shirt from Seinfeld. Remember to see trolls in the chat. And maybe what we can do while we're here is get some ideas for casting. Let's oh, thank you. Thank you, Eladia Lopez. You are my absolute favorite fellow New Yorker. New York strong. Thank you so much for your early morning. It's not that early anymore. It is 10:49. Let's do. You heard that Peg invited them? The McAlberts, the Jennifer McCabe. I think of Nurse Kim every time I now hear her name. Nurse Kim, who's been on Sean McDonough's show a couple times, has a TikTok account, and she talks about Jennifer McCabe. Colin Albert, Brian Albert, and Carrie Roberts sitting in the courtroom the other day during closing arguments. Yikes. Did I hear that Brandy Churchwell is getting a docu-series or a podcast? No, I did not hear that, I don't think. Thanks, Four Cats, and congratulations, Brandy. We love you. You are such a hard worker. You deserve all the success, and I love you so much. Let's start with, I'm And we're going to need, let's say we'll have 5 options for each role. We're going to start with Karen Reed. Who would you cast to play Karen Reed? Somebody said Claire Danes yesterday, so I'm going to put that on the list because that's my choice. And this would be for the miniseries. Jennifer Aniston. Okay, that's a good choice. We're going to put her in there. Sandra Bullock. But remember, so I love your choices. I love your choices. But Karen's what? How old's Karen now? 42, 44. And the women, well, at least Jen and Sandra Bullock are in their 50s, but that's okay. They can play younger. Kate Hudson. I don't know about Kate Hudson. I think she's too comedic. Diane Lane. I think Diane Lane might be a little, not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm not an ageist, but thinking younger. Jennifer Aniston, Sandra Bullock, getting a lot of that. Jennifer Love Hewitt. She is Leah Remini, Amy Adams, Hilary Swank, Julia Roberts. I think it's too tall. Olivia Wilde. That's an interesting choice. Let's go outside the box a little. You know who? Oh, you know who? What about Jessica Biel? Did you guys watch the first season of The Sinner? Jessica Biel was amazing in that. And also it kind of ties in with the recent arrest of Justin Timberlake for his DUI outside of the American Hotel in Sag Harbor here on Long Island, which I am going to cover one of these days. I have all the documents, so I was ready. I even made a thumbnail. But everything keeps happening. Eliza Dushku, that is an interesting choice. Jennifer Garner is an interesting choice. Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway might be too tall. I do love her. Did you guys watch that series about the guy who invented WeWork? It's called We Crashed with Jared Leto. Is it Leto or Leto? And Anne Hathaway. Fantastic. So good. Rachel McAdams. Where's Rachel McAdams been? The Notebook is one of my favorites. Oh, did I say Jessica Biel? We're going to have to narrow it down, you guys. Kirsten Dunst. I don't know. I don't know who Tamara Braun is. The Sinner was amazing, wasn't it? Emma Watson. What say you, my friends? What say you? We have to find a part for Zach Galifianakis. I love Between Two Ferns. I think it's hilarious. He is a comedic genius. Thanks, JPC. Robin, thank you for the 10 for the super sticker. Kimberly Williams Paisley for Karen Reed. That's an interesting choice, Michelle. Is she still acting? I do like her. She was in the original Father of the Bride. Do you remember that with was it Steve Martin? That was the dad. That's a classic. Ella says Rick Moranis plays Dilly Lally the Liar. Well, we'll start on that after because we're going to have to do a poll on each of these as we do our casting. Tina Fey is coming up in the chat a lot. Emma Stone, Natalie Portman. Oh, Natalie Portman. Jodie Comer. I love Jodie Comer. Blake Lively. A lot of people are gunning for Blake Lively. Blake Lively's very tall. Karen is not. So I just don't know. I'm too old. Thank you. I'm too old to play Karen, but thank you very much. Jessica Drea Di Matteo. I think, she's on OnlyFans. Apparently, Drea Di Matteo from The Sopranos has an OnlyFans account, and she's making bank. And she's She's proud of it. Did I thank you, Robin, for your super sticker? Thank you, Robin, for your super sticker. Olive juice. If you whisper olive juice, it looks like you're saying I love you. Try it. Olive juice. Right? Thank you, Zion. I forget what that's from, but I remember that. Marissa Tomei. I think Marissa Tomei might be outside the age range. Bella Brat for you. But we've referred a lot to Marissa Tomei during this trial because she cracked open the My Cousin Vinny case with the talk. It's all about the talk. Torque. not talk. Leslie Bibb for Jen McCabe. Look it up. All right. I'm starting a list, but let's just focus. We got to focus. We got to focus on just Karen Reed for now, but I'm going to write it down because I'm fair like that. Lady Gaga, as Karen says, Helene. Thanks, Chloe Albert, again for coming in here. Lady Gaga. Huh, interesting. Interesting. She was amazing in A Star is Born. I do love that movie. Love the soundtrack. Nothing happening over at Court TV. Jennifer Garner. It's coming up a lot. Emily Blunt. Jodie Foster is outside the range. We're going to have to narrow this down, Natalie Portman. Lady Gaga. All right. I don't even know how many choices that Cara Delevingne. Is she an actor though, Danielle? I know she's a supermodel, but is she an actor? Has she acted in anything? We can't be like Ryan Murphy putting Kim Kardashian in American Horror Story because, look, no shade to Kim Kardashian, but the fact that he hired her to come back for season 2 was a little disheartening to me. Because I don't know if anybody watched that season of American Horror Story that featured Kim Kardashian, but it was not great. Ken Weber, thanks for the 10. You can download the original verdict form, mass.gov. Judge Bev didn't add anything as a proper wording, is already there. It's the court's version that has the lesser included language removed. Yeah, we looked at that yesterday, I believe. We looked at the original, like the Blumberg type form. That's what I call it because that's the company that does all the forms in New York anyway. Yeah, so it was her version that had the lesser included language removed, but it's since been corrected. So thank you so much, Ken, for your super chat. Wart Guy too. Thanks for the 5. We know so much more than the jury. I've been contemplating this lately. Does that reflect a system that seeks truth and justice? I think so, because I think they're really taking their time with the evidence because we do know so much more than the jury. Right? Because we've been invested in this. We've been covering it. We've been digging into it. And they're just digging into it now after sitting through how many days of testimony? At least 30. Lisa, thank you so much for the super chat. Did your daughters have a nice prom night? They did. They did. It was very nice. I have twin daughters too, 16 years old now. Justice for Karen from Norway. Thank you for tuning in, Lisa from Norway. Mothers of twins are very, very special. So thank you. Thank you. You're special too. Very special. It's not easy. Auntie Bev's verdict form, jury delay. Oh, this is the one we looked at earlier. Thank you. Veronica Silva. Thanks to 5. Jim Carrey for Lally's part because he already played a similar role in Liar Liar. That's a very funny movie too. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Naomi Watts for Karen says Christine Wilcox. I mean, I love a lot of these actresses, but I really want like an American, to play. And I know that's like not fair to play Karen because this is like such an American story. I think people would be up in arms if we hired somebody from another country. I don't know. Although she's amazing. Jennifer Esposito for Karen Reeder, Jamie Lynn Siegler. I don't think Jamie Lynn Siegler, unfortunately, is working anymore much because she has MS. As does Christina Applegate, who just breaks my heart what Christina Applegate is going through. Jennifer Esposito. I love Jennifer Esposito. I told you all to go watch her new movie, Fresh Kills. It's only in theaters for a short time. and she funded it all on her own. She's a friend. And it's an amazing movie about Staten Island and the women in the mob in Staten Island who never get a voice or a movie made about them. Thanks, Cale Burke. Angelina Jolie, says Courtney. Interesting choice, Courtney. Thank you. Katie Holmes, I think she would work as Karen. Is she still working? I mean, a lot of these actresses aren't. When's the last time Katie Holmes did something? I believe she's very tall as well, so I don't know. Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick is an interesting choice. Rose Byrne. Oh, I love Rose Byrne. Did you guys watch Damages with Glenn Close, that series about a woman who was a lawyer? She was like a pit bull lawyer played by Glenn Close. And Rose Byrne was like a young lawyer in her firm. That was a great series, Damages. Margot Robbie, because she'll do a good. We have so many choices. Reese Witherspoon, Riley Keough. Oh, Riley Keough. I think she's too young, though. Isn't she like only in her 20s? Jennifer Coolidge for Bev. All right, we'll start that list. Natalie Portman. Claire Danes can play anything. She really can, right? Kaylee Cuoco. She was in The Flight Attendant, which was really good. Season 1 was really good of The Flight Attendant. I do actually watch other TV other than YouTube, but lately I have not. Isn't she very tall as well? I mean, I guess we're gonna have to Anna Kendrick. Kaylee Cuoco, how old is she? She might be too young. Billy Bob Thornton as Lally. Oh my gosh. If you guys have not watched Goliath, a series with Billy, and I was never a huge Billy Bob Thornton fan until I watched Goliath. What a twisted series that was. He's a drunken attorney who like lost his job with his major law firm, and he lives out of a motel in Santa Monica next to that bar that I had to go to when I was in Santa Monica. I can't remember the name of it right now. It'll come to me. Goliath is an amazing series, but he may be too old to play Mr. Lally, but we'll see. Winona Ryder. Justice for Winona Ryder. Well, you know what's an interesting choice about that is that during this case, we talked a lot about the movie Heathers. Do you guys remember the movie Heathers from, I don't know, was it the 80s or the 90s? I don't remember. And Winona Ryder was in Heathers. All the cool girls were named Heather. Interesting. Kate Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale. I like Kate Beckinsale too. She was in it's her movie that I like the most, Serendipity, with John Cusack, who I also love. Where's she been lately? Dave the Pie is Vincent D'Onofrio for Lally. He's too old, I think. Look, I love him. Remember Criminal Minds? Not Criminal Minds. He was in Law and Order Criminal Intent, and he was a little bit psycho himself, and he would always figure out the criminal's state of mind. Remember? I mean, I'd like to cast him in something, but I think he's a little bit outside the age range. Kamala thanks Elizabeth Olsen as Karen. Where have the Olsen twins been lately? Where have the Olsen twins been? I don't know. Thanks, Yorkie Mom, for your super sticker, for hanging in here while we wait. We're just waiting. Melly, I see Melly over there in the Court TV chat. Melly, what are you doing over there? You cheating on me? Melly's usually over here. Maybe she's got 2 devices. I don't know. Fixin' too. Carrie Russell as Karen. Yeah, I like Carrie Russell too. Thanks for the super chat. We're back to Blake Lively again. Jen's baby tooth likes Blake Lively too. Did I put it on the list? We have a lot of contenders here. A lot of contenders. Thanks, Jen's baby tooth. Brenda Lynn's, thanks for the super sticker. Auntie Deb as everybody. One-man show on Broadway. That would be awesome. Thanks, Chloe Albert's Revenge. Catherine Dugan, thanks for the 20. Did you hear that? Dr. Wolf's wife had to private her Facebook and remove the kids' photos. Yep. I did not hear that, but I'm not surprised. I had to do the same. Anti-Free Karen Reid, people threatened them after the Coffindoffer tweeted out her Facebook since she had joined a Free Karen Reid group the day before after Dr. Wolf testified. What? They've been coming for everybody. And Coffindoffer tweeted out her Facebook or a post that she made on Facebook since she had joined a Free Karen Reid. I don't even know what to say to that, Catherine. Thank you for the 20. That is shocking, but not surprising, if you know what I mean. I quit Twitter. I quit Twitter. I had to take down my Instagram and take off all the pictures of my kids. Because same thing. Jodie Foster, Jen McCabe. I think she's outside the A train, Wearmouth. I think she's 60 in her 60s. Jodie Foster. But I do love Jodie Foster going all the way back to the movies from the 80s. Dreamer Thinker, thanks for the 20. Did you see the news in Minneapolis today about attempts to bribe a juror with $120,000 in the Feeding Our Future case? No, I did not see that. My fear is that these crime families have gotten to a juror, leading to a hung jury. Am I worrying too much? Listen, nothing's out of the realm of possibility in any case. Yeah, don't worry too much, Dreamer Thinker. Breathe. Thanks for your super chat. No, that doesn't make it easier. Match DC. Courtney Cox as Karen. Sarah Silverman as Jen McCabe. Sarah Silverman. That's a good one. Hello, Siobhan. Dakota Johnson as Karen. That's more in the age range, Siobhan. I like that. Thanks for the super chat. Sweet Tea's Treasure. Thanks for the super stinger. Chumley the Walrus as Matt McCabe says Steve F. Somebody nicknamed him the Timu John Travolta. I thought that was funny. Don't Google Timu. Don't go on there. They're going to steal your information and you may never get your products. I don't know. I really don't know anything about Timu. Zion, thank you. Lally as himself, he's going to need the shops. Connie, John Cusack as AJ. Interesting choice. Do love me some John Cusack. Is he what has he been in lately? Alexis Kristen Bell as Karen and Vince Vaughn as John. Interesting. Vince Vaughn is very, very tall. Isn't he like 6'4" or even taller? Lindsay Lohan and Karen have similar looks, says Scarlett Rose. And LL is working again. Lindsay Lohan? Yeah. Interesting, Scarlett Rose. Thank you. Danielle says Cara Delevingne played in movies and TV show Carnival Row with Orlando Bloom. Check her out. I will. Isn't she good friends with Taylor Swift? We did this one, Kristen Bell. We have a lot. We have too many choices already for Karen, so we're going to have to move on. Paul Giamatti as Lally. That's interesting. Thanks, Tara. Something about Paul Giamatti just really, really rubs me like the wrong way. I don't know what it is. Billions. I watched him on Billions. Maybe it's the characters that he plays. But then I watched a movie on a plane about a boarding school. What was that movie? And he was really good in that one. He was a teacher at a boarding school. It was a recent movie that was up for some awards. Thanks, Tara, for the super sticker, super chat. Eliza Dushku for Karen. She's from Boston. She's 43. Would be perfect. Says Jax and Mads Mimi. Thanks for the super chat. Eliza Dushku. And she's from Boston. She got Michael Weatherly in some trouble. There were some allegations about Michael Weatherly on the set of the Bull TV show. Somebody said, Melanie Little, you have produced something. What? You have producer written all over you? Something like that's moving too fast. Moving too fast over there in the chat. Thanks, Robin, for becoming a new member. Amber Heard has to play Jen McCabe. Oh my God. She is so going on the list. Hey, Mrs. G, thanks for your super sticker. All right, go Georgia. Knowing the FBI are involved, people would have to be crazy to try and taint the jury now, but Albert's McCabe's don't seem the brightest. I don't know. Aaron says, not an actor I hate enough to cast as Lally. You're funny. You are funny. All right, what should we look at while we're waiting? Let's see something on here. Let's look at, for those of you who don't know, Auntie Deb. Auntie Deb came on the show the other day. He is a comedian, former math teacher for 7th grade. He has started a TikTok and a YouTube channel based on the players in this case, the players. So let's look at, and I'm sure he'll be cool with me playing them because you guys will go subscribe to him, right? So let's look at, all right, Karen Reed parody. This is part 1. For those of you who are not familiar, we will start with part 1. Except I got to make it bigger. Well, it's TikTok format, so it's not going to be the greatest, but you're going to get the idea. All right, ready? Here we go.
Canton, Massachusetts. In my 30 years, I can't say I've been in that. Good morning, jury. Good morning, judge. Good morning, fine people of Norfolk County. Sorry about that. Excuse me.
Bring it up.
Dunkin' Donuts. I for their birthday. I bring. Allowance. So when the trooper got there, can you please repeat that? But this time in American. The Alberts and the McCabe's had nothing to do with this. I don't even know why I'm here. So the neighbor did provide a container, plastic container, we sealed, and kind of I can't remember. Yes. Down to the station, to the Canton Police Department. I don't. My two friends. It was a very circumstantial situation. Yes, the bitchiest girls in Canton. Yes. Yeah, yes. We
Yeah, yes.
put the before we did inform the Massachusetts State Police.
Yeah, the volume on this one's not great. It's on me. It's him.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna have to teach Jimmy about the volume. So hang on, let's see what else we can find. Maybe he's got one with better volume. Let's see. We'll go to parent part 9.
Holy moly, moly.
See if this volume's better. If it's not, then you can just go there on your own and watch them.
Do this. You can do it. You can do this. When interviewing a witness, are you more asking questions or seeing if you can get any, if any, information? I don't share specifics or any information about a case. Just you could please read that out loud. Group message between me, Tony Funbags, the Chico Frico, Swally, Moe, Mooly the Coolie, Riri, and Lemonface. So she goes, I've never tried it. Doesn't it help you lose weight? Me and Jeff look at each other. I go, no, that's just a mystery. I don't want her to take it. More for us, you know? So then we go outside. What is the matter with this place? Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. Mr. Lally, I'll see you at sidebar, okay? Come on. We're going to get obliterated out there, Lally. Do the old thing. No, not that one. Do the... Yeah. Yes. Oh, I am in that kind of a mood, Lally. That's the kind of mood I'm in today, Lally, okay? They don't know us, Lally. They don't know us, Lally. Okay? Let's show them what we can do, huh? Let's give them a show out there. Come on. Like old times. Lally, people friggin' love those two out there, Lally, okay? They are making us look like fools. Lally, you know what I found? They got their own merch, Lally. They got their own t-shirts, Lally, from Lally. They got their own merch. Lally, look at me. Don't you want a t-shirt, Lally, huh? Don't you want merch? Don't you want people walking around with little Lally t-shirts, huh? What, if any, shirts am I gonna get? Or whatever, okay? Okay? Let's do this, Lally. We can do this. That's right, Lally. That's right. Yeah, let's do it. Come on. Come on, Lally, show him. Come on, Lally, show him. He wrote, rookie move, you You know when we say cops are framing, there's no one to blaming. Get the medical and your story will be credible. Yeah, sure, if you're into chicks with gaping, cavernous wounds, she got a used up. You're doing good, Lally. Lally. Oh, make them say it, Lally. Make them say it. Yes, you can keep reading. Al, she's a real nasty. We had Bristol County look. Fall River. Lizzie Borden with a swollen like the mouth of a tired. Oh, I'm gonna fry that. This would be much easier to do this if she were black. Even I've never said that about a chick before, and I'm gross. All right. Okay. Whew, all right. Everyone, you're free to go, okay? Okay, thank you so. No, thank you.
OMG, was that hilarious? He's so funny. His name's Jimmy. He came on the other day and he entertained us. I'm not sure which one that was that I just played, but Why don't we just play another one? We've got some time here. We've got some time. Go over and subscribe to Auntie Bev. Auntie Deb, DEBB. I think maybe it's DEBBB.
And what, if any, defendants do you see in the courtroom today? And could you identify her just by where she's sitting or what she's wearing?
It's the
Yeah, the volume on this one's a little bit low. Let me see if I can find one that has a better volume.
You are unmuted.
Mr. Yannetti, Mr. Yannetti, did Jackson not fill you in? Okay. I could do this all day, okay? I could do this all day back and forth with you, but you're not going to do this today, okay? We already discussed this. This is not going to happen. Listen, if you want to bumble with the bee, go right ahead, okay? I come prepared with an army and a stinger, all right?
Now, as far as the woman that appears in the video at the police station, that is Sally. Sally Port.
Oh, you think I don't know? Her and Matt had a thing when they were kids. I know everyone and I know everything. Bus ride back from Plymouth Plantation field trip. We did hand stuff. Of course I hated her when I first met her. I'm Jen McCabe. What else do you think? But she's actually a really good person. She's pretty sturdy, dependable. She's good for support, quiet. And she's been at the Canton PD for years, so you know she has good morals. Sidebar, Lally. Mr. Lally, sidebar, please. And I said to myself, Jen, follow your instinct.
Don't you cry. Don't you cry.
What's the matter, Lally, huh? No time to stop at Honey Farms this morning for your butts? You're all out? Yeah, all right. You want one of my P-Funks? Well, between you, me, and a coconut tree, Jen always messes up her little spells because she's always yacked out of her face. Matt said I do what? What? Excuse me, what did he say?
How, if any?
Mr. Lally, sidebar. Lally. They're tearing you apart online. Okay, I read things, Lally. The whole what, if any, isn't helping. It's not, you gotta quit it. You gotta stop. They're not buying it, Lally. They're just not buying it. But Lally, listen to me. Lally, once this is over, okay, we all don't go to jail. You can go off and pursue your dream career, Lally. I support you. You know that. I'll help you out, okay? I'll make a phone call for you, Lally. But for right now, we gotta get through this, okay? And I'm just trying to help. So quit it, okay? Lally, come on. I know you can do. Look, Lally, look at me. Look at me, Lally. Look at me. Okay. Well, when I'm on my back, okay, and I'm on all fours, looking up, walking my way, looking up at the sky, thinking, what's up there? Who's up there? God? Who's looking down at me? I see other things, Lally. I keep going. A crab, Lally, has a hard exterior, but a soft interior. That's you, Lally. You gotta become the crab. Become the crab, Lily. They really flipped us around with that whole Lallyport video, okay? They did the old switcheroo, the old 1-2 on us. You gotta beat them at their own game, Lally. That's all that we can do. What other choice do we have? We gotta throw a Hail Mary in here, okay?
So when you get to your job, do you walk in the front door or do you push open the doorway and enter?
It's a Lally sidebar. Lally, you know who's coming, Lally? Proctor's coming, Lally. Today's Proctor Day, Lally. Okay? He's coming. We can't all lose our jobs. You hear me, Lally? Do you know what I'm saying to you, Lally? You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
I'll have to teach him about music strikes because there's nothing worse than sitting on the air for 4 hours and then getting stricken because you put music in there that's copyright. Jimmy's funny. Here's his channel. Subscribe to it. Auntie Deb, DEB. Actually, it's at Auntie Deb, DEBBB on YouTube. He's already up to 6,200 subscribers. Let's get him up to 10,000, you guys. Let's get him up to 10. We love you, Jimmy. We love you, Jimmy. And thanks so much for coming on the show the other day. Somebody said we need some comic relief, and we do. There's nothing funny about this at all. There's nothing funny about this at all, but if we do not laugh, some days we might cry. Do you walk into the door or enter? So funny. He is amazing. He is amazing. And he's not only is he really funny, but he's a really, really nice guy. He went to court the other day. I forget which day it was because I don't know what day it is today. I think it's Thursday, you told me. And he went outside the courthouse and he was shocked that he was recognized and everyone wanted pictures with him. And he was so nice. So nice. Bernadine, been here from the start. Excellent coverage. Go nowhere else. Only issues your mic blows my eardrums as court feeds have to be on max. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not. I try and whisper when I know the court feed is bad. I'm sorry about that. But right now, today, there's nothing I can do. Try and get Kurt to come in and help me with this fancy equipment. But there's, I don't have the fancy sound equipment. And I don't have control over the pool photographer who doesn't have the best audio. So I do my best. Thanks for being here. YouTube turns. Let Linda Blair doing her exorcist role to play Jen. That's good. She's outside the age range, I believe, but it's a good choice. Kelly, thank you so much. Amos Lee, 34 Fairview Road. Beautiful song. Play it. There's a 34 Fairview Road song. I can't play it because I got a music strike. Chloe Albert's Revenge. Adam Scott as any male attorney. Put him in there. I love Adam Scott. Veronica Silver, Cruella de Vil, Jen McCabe. Thanks, Veronica. So far, we got nothing. It's going to be time for lunch soon. It's almost 11:30. Chris Evans for John. He's the same height and weight and from Boston. I mean, who doesn't like Chris Evans, right? Did I start even making a list? Oh, yeah, John O'Keefe. Good, Debbie. Thank you. Thank you for that. Love is a 4-letter word. Timothy Oliphant as Alan Jackson. I'm going to have to look him up because I can't picture him. Thank you. Love is a 4-letter word. I'll check him out. Outrage Mama Bear. Thank you for the 5. Eliza Dushku is born in Boston for Karen. David Franco as Colin. Rob Riggle as Matt McCabe. Graham McTavish. Sarah Jessica Parker as Jen McCabe. Sarah Jessica Parker might be outside the range as well, the age range, but I'll keep this up here so I can refer back to it. Thank you so much, Outrage Mama Bear. We are all outraged. Joanne Middleton, thank you for your super sticker. Bev McKenzie, thank you for your Canadian super sticker. Danielle G, Helena Bonham Carter as Jen McCabe. That's an interesting choice. That's interesting. Scorpion says, this is actually funny. I'm surprised. You think Auntie Bev is actually, you're surprised about Auntie Bev being funny? Oh, gotta subscribe because he's going to keep going. Love is a 4-letter word. Thanks for the 10. Melanie, did you see the video that Garrett uploaded yesterday? He opens by talking about you and the show you guys did together. It's an hour-long video about the dog bites. I did. I posted it on my community page yesterday. I shared it. So that is a great video. I was thinking about playing a portion of it, but I didn't have time to look at what portion to play. And since I have been consistently demonetized on YouTube for showing the arm photos of John O'Keefe, I know he shows them a lot in that video. And I don't want to show them again because nothing sucks more than being on the air for 4 or 5 hours and then seeing that little yellow dollar sign. Mimi, thank you so much for your super chat. Sophia Bush is Karen. Sophia Bush. I can't picture her in my head. I'll look her up. Thanks, Mimi. Susan Weekly, thanks for your super sticker. Shanna became a new member. Welcome, Shanna. Susan, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for being live. So much better than watching the fan. I know. We have to keep each other company while we're waiting. I don't know. Let's hope it's before lunch. Thanks, David. Prom was awesome for my twins. Thank you so much. Thanks for asking. Dina Jam is a member for 4 months. Says thanks for all you do. Thank you. Thank you for being a member for 4 months. John Ham for AJ. I love John Ham. He had me at Don Draper. He's going on the list. And then he was on the morning show with Jennifer Aniston. That was amazing too. If you haven't watched the morning show, highly recommend. Kim, thanks for your super chat. Says Karen Helen Hunt. I think she's outside the range for sure, age range. AJ, Neil Patrick Harris or Matt Damon. I'd like to put Matt Damon in a Bostonian role, I think, and Ben Affleck too. David Giannetti, Ben Affleck, or Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, they're both from Boston, right? Or the Massachusetts. Lally, Jack Black, or Mark Ruffalo. I like Mark Ruffalo a lot too. Brian Albert, Vince Vaughn, Proctor, Zach Efron. A lot of good ideas there, Kim. Thanks for getting in there with the super chat ideas. I'll keep them up. Match DC says Matt Damon as Giannetti, Ben Affleck as AJ. Maybe they'll pay for this series that I'm casting. What do you think? Maybe they'll come in and back it. But I need to be hired as like a legal editor or like producer or something. Monica Owens became a member. Well, welcome, Monica. Amy Schumer for Auntie Bev. You mean Auntie Bev? We're all getting confused about Auntie Bev and Auntie Deb. Yeah, Amy Schumer's a good choice. We've got nothing. We've got nothing over here on Court TV except a ticker. Thank you, Monica Owens. And Fire Pilot's wife for becoming members of my channel. Welcome. Welcome. Tina Jamthas, thanks for 1 year of greatness. Thank you so much, Tina, for just joining. It's been exactly 1 year since I posted my first video on this channel. And we are like 54,000 strong. Thanks, you guys. And so if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Just hit the subscribe button right below the video. It's free. If you're on that newfangled version of YouTube, you might have to close out the chat to hit this subscribe button or the like button. But if you do both of them for me, that'll be so totally amazing. Thank you, Dina Jam, for that. Let's see, what are we up to? We're up to 54.4 thousand subscribers. But right now we've got over 7,000 watching and only 2,900 likes. We can do better. We can do better. It pushes the stream out, helps the algorithm. Thank you. Thanks, Dina Jam. Amanda, thank you for your super sticker. Sarah Rosenhagen says, Amber Heard for Jen McCabe. It'll come natural for her. Thank you. I already have that on the list, Sarah. Great idea. Thanks for the 5. Thanks to the 5. Matilda. Hello from the Netherlands. Hello, Netherlands. Hello. Thanks for tuning in. And Elf, thanks for gifting a membership. You guys are so awesome. Let's see. Let's do a little YouTube jumping. See what else we can show to make us laugh. Aussie Insider, are you here today? Are you here today? Some are funny and some are serious on Aussie Insider's channel, another channel that you should absolutely subscribe to for some really great coverage on this trial, some investigative work, and some clip videos showing reactions from many other YouTubers that are covering the Karen Reed case in particular. Hi, Bunny. Bunny says, do news channels get demonetized for those types of images too? I don't know if they are even monetized. I don't know. You know, most YouTube creators rely on ad revenue. So if YouTube decides that your stream is not friendly to advertisers, you don't get any ad revenue, and they still show commercials on your show. So I don't get it. And sometimes you have to appeal it. Sometimes it gets overturned, but it's not retroactive. So if you have the demonetization sign on your video and you get something like 100,000 views, you don't get paid for all the ad revenue from those first 100,000 while it was yellow. It's a weird thing. If not, law and crime channels shouldn't be either. YouTube needs to fix that, in my opinion. Yeah. And YouTube takes 30% of super chats, which is why I put my Venmo scan code up there in case it's easier for you when you're watching TV from far away and you feel like contributing to the greatness and being part of this channel. And thank you so very much. It's never, ever expected, but always appreciated. Miss Figgy became a member. Congratulations and welcome. Stephanie L became a member. Thank you, Stephanie. Meryl Streep would be a perfect Bev. All right, we'll put her on the list. Haven't seen Aussie in the chat. Okay. All right. Well, she's cool with me playing her stuff. So, I don't like to play other creators' creations without permission, but she's cool with it. Look at her, up to 13,000 subscribers. I think when I first found her covering this case, I don't know. I think she may have been like under 1,000 and she's blown up. And I'm so happy about that. I love women supporting other women. And I love helping other creators because Duty Ron did that for me. He's a mentor for me. And you guys know that. Duty Ron and Ed did a great show on some forensics. Maybe we can play some of that. I'll ask him. Trying to pick one from Aussie that doesn't have any music in it or foul language. Let me just see what this is here. Music or language. Let's see. Oh, this one's 13 minutes long. I don't know how much time we're going to have. Let's see. What say you, my friends? What say you? Hot mic and stuff. Yeah, but is there music in that? Or pictures? Because I watched that one yesterday, but then I was like, oh, I can get in trouble for that. Oh, there's always a chance of having Mark Betterell on. He's got an open invitation. He comes back all the time. The issue is he's on trial right now. So he is on trial of his own client. So he cannot be here all the time. We did a show the other night together. And he has an open invitation and he knows how to reach me. So whenever he's available, he can just hop on. All right, let's do hot mics and stuff. 7 minutes. If anything comes up that I think we might get in trouble for, I will just stop it at that location. How does YouTube monitor everyone's videos? They use AI. They have an artificial intelligence program that they use to scan your video. They look for language, they look for violence, they look for all kinds of things that they deem to be unfriendly to advertisers. And if they find that in your video, you get this little yellow dollar sign, which means you've been demonetized, and then you have to appeal it. It's like a whole thing. It's stupid. It's crazy. And we still have nothing on Court TV. So if you guys are watching Twitter, I'm going to put this up and go subscribe to Aussie Insider. And this is called Hot Mics and Stuff. Aussie Insider.
That's not the point. The point is, I've never seen a circus like this. There have been 110 murders or more.
You can go ahead, yeah.
I've been part of. I've never seen anything that's a quarter of this. It's bananas.
Was it? Yeah. Wanting a reporter's notes from an unrecorded conversation that was off the record. Jesus.
That was Gretchen Voss's when they were doing Gretchen Voss.
Jen.
Alan! Carrie! Safe!
Did you not?
Objection.
Sustained.
Where would you see?
Okay. Jurors.
Did you not?
Yes,
You've been to the pool at the Proctor's house, correct?
yes.
I have that the pool photo. I know she's looking at the Christmas.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 1938. And if you could zoom just a little bit in on that.
I still have a question of what this is. I mean, they showed it, right, during the trial, but did they ever explain what this round piece of whatever it is supposed to be? Looks like a top of a glass. Was it a part of the tail? Does anybody know what this is? Can anybody help me here? Because I still don't know what this is. Looks like Tupperware, somebody says. What is this? It looks like the bottom of a wide plastic cup. It's like there's so many loose ends in this case for jurors because, like, why are they showing all of this stuff to the jury and then they never tied it together? Lally never tied any of this stuff together for him. So what is this? This is my Aussie Insider if you're just tuning in. It's called Hot Mics and Stuff.
And next, what's depicted up on the screen within this exhibit 282, do you recognize that?
I do.
Is that one of the pieces that was submitted within this as far as 7-8 that you examined throughout the course of your analysis here, correct?
It was. There's actually two pieces in that. There's the large one in the middle, and there's a very small one up in the corner.
Okay.
A few moments later. A few minutes later. 3 days later.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's what I say. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, he's a dick. He's a kook, but he is also because it's like like my parents watch the live stream and shit, and I'll tune in. I can't listen to the guy just fucking talk. Yeah, it's just spouting a ton of shit, and then it's like comes to this, you lost it.
I don't know who that is on the hot mic at the site visit.
And its phone, is that consistent with what you observed in Mr. O'Keefe's?
Yes, it is.
Yes, Your Honor, the call, I'm to call Ricky D'Antonio. He's bound to mess it up.
Is that a question?
Everything I say up here is a question.
Okay.
Just presume that.
Well, all right. So
Well, that wasn't. So let's.
Enough evidence based on what you were providing.
Okay, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
So I totally blew off the exhibits.
Trooper Proctor, you were notified.
I am not Trooper Proctor.
I'm sorry. No, you're not.
Bored in the motherfucking house, bored and I'm bored in the motherfucking house, bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house, bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house, bored.
He was there
You're
Yes,
you're spinning all of this.
Ma'am, I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't spin. There's a judge here to make sure that I don't spin.
I'm bored in the motherfucking house, bored and I'm bored in the motherfucking house, bored.
So anything past that, you have to somehow overcome that hurdle, which is very difficult to do.
When was it that you looked at the traditional
Choose your fighter.
Step right up. Walk the step for me. Then stand and face the front.
Pending should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay. Do you solemnly affirm?
Oh, I was muted. It's my favorite part. Did she really make
Testimony you
these
shall give to the
expressions?
court in the matter now in hearing
Holy
shall be the
crap,
truth,
she
the whole
cracks
truth,
me
and
up.
nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Step right up and just walk the step for me.
This is where we're gonna get stricken on music, but I'm gonna mute. I'm just gonna mute this feed. Mute this, but you can just look at Bev's reactions to the witnesses. Hilarious. Make sure you subscribe to Aussie Insider. I mean, look. OMG. Ah. Ah. Pam, we have to laugh or else we're going to cry. So we're trying. We're trying over here. First round of the poll is up. We have so many choices that we have to go through rounds on Karen Reed casting. So YouTube will only give me 4 options for a poll. The swinging of the glasses, that was crazy. Yeah, that's funny. That's some Joe Pesci stuff. That could be copyrighted too, so. So yeah, go back and watch that later. Not right now, but later for, the full on experience of that stuff from Aussie Insider. Anything happening on the cesspool of Twitter, you guys? It's like watching your grandma eyeing up your boyfriend. Somebody said that's hilarious. So funny. I'm hearing some music in my headphones, but nothing's playing. That's weird. Unless Law and Crime has music on. They do. That's weird. I mean, this is Court TV, but they're playing some like weird background music. I don't know why. It is Court TV, right? When did they start doing that? Geniality says she wants Dr. Wolf as her pool boy. It must have just started. That's so weird. That is so weird. I'm not used to it. Make it stop. Make it stop. All right, so the poll on the first read of the casting for our fake miniseries for Karen Reed is up. We have to do it in rounds because YouTube only will let me do 4 choices. So this is the first round. It is up. Everybody cast your votes. We've got Claire Danes, Anne Hathaway, Jennifer Garner, and Eliza Dushku. Keep it up for a bit. If you don't know who Eliza Dushku is, I will remind you. All right, that music on Court TV is like freaking me out. Why? Why are they doing that to us? Why are they doing that? Some of you may not be familiar with Eliza Dushku, and she does deserve a fair shake, I think. I think she deserves a fair shake. So let's pull up her IMDb page and take a look. And here she is. Here are some of her credits. Let's see. She was in some episodes of Bull. What's her most famous movie? I think Hilary Swank is outside the age range, you guys. We can look it up. Eliza looks too young. That could be an old picture of her. I think she's definitely in her 40s. That's an old picture. And people say she is from Boston, so. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she was in that, I guess. So there's a little taste of who Eliza Dushku is, for those of you who did not know. Yeah, I don't like the Core TV music. I have to mute it on my end. You can't hear it, right? If I'm just watching it? Because I'm not sharing the tab, so you shouldn't be able to hear it, but I don't like it. Lunch is usually from 1 to 2, that's right, so we don't know. I'm way too old to play Karen Reed. Thank you, though. Weihnachtsliebe. Elizabeth Banks. Oh, you voted for Eliza. Emmy Rossum, but it's Jen. All right, I can put that on the Jen list. Oh, she was on Buffy. I guess she was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Jennifer Aniston's outside the range. Sorry, she's outside the range. We got to cast 40s. We're casting 40s. They end lunch at 2 and want to be done at 4. Lazy jury. Is that what someone said? Because I haven't seen them come on and do any kind of sort of thing. Any kind of sort of thing. Yeah, they have on some weird music, and somebody had put up a comment that says, Court TV trying to keep everyone's blood pressure down. Painted bunting. Everyone should stop for 1 minute. Should send not guilty thoughts to the jury all at the same time, all together. Okay, ready? Set. Go. Keanu Marie says, Court TV posted that court is going on lunch from 1 to 2 and will not answer jury questions. It's not even 12 yet. So I don't know what that means. Did they have a question? Choosing with Tracy. Is this a bad sign the jurors are taking so long? No, it's normal. It's normal. And here's a super chat that Auntie Bev's verdict form put in earlier today, but put together all the statistics for us. And these are some other big case jury deliberations. Casey Anthony, 11 hours. Kyle Rittenhouse, 27 hours. OJ, 4 hours. George Z, 16 hours. Michael Jackson, 32 hours. Derek Chauvin, 10 hours. Jodi Arias, 15 hours. Robert Durst, 7 hours. So we've also talked about the fact that we know a lot more about this case than the jury does. If they were coming in cold, it's so much to go over. So much to go over, right? Think about it. If you tried to tell a friend about this, it would take you days. Johnny Depp for Lollipop. That's funny. Mrs. Rogers' Neighborhood. Thank you. I put it on the list. Emma Stone is Karen Reed. We can add her into the second round. Thank you, Catherine Dugan. Wendy McLendon Covey, Goldberg's show mom as Bev. That's an interesting choice. We'll have to pull her up later and take a look at her. Maureen Hancock on TikTok is pretty good too. If you know, you know. I think we looked at this. Cruella de Vil, Jen McCabe. Thanks, Veronica. Monique, thanks for becoming a new member. Not Squirrel, thanks for the 20. Imagine the jurors once they get on social media and see what we've seen. Snowplow and dash cam, 6:08 a.m. Shoe eventually found where Carrie and Sarif parked. Reenactments, dog bite experts, etc. Mind-blowing. And I pray no regrets. No regrets. Do you know what that reminds me of? That's a movie reference for me. There's a movie, speaking of Jennifer Aniston, it's called We're the Millers. Did anybody see that? We're the Millers. So funny. And there's a guy who's got a tattoo and it says no regrets and it's spelled no and then RAGRETS. And then whoever played the dad, was it Jason Sudeikis? Said no regrets, not even one letter. And it was hilarious. We're the Millers, very funny. If you haven't watched it and you need some comic relief, you can find it in a lot of places. It's on TV a lot too. So if I'm just flipping channels and it comes on, it's one of those movies I will always watch, like Wedding Crashers. Oh, look at that. We're the Millers Part 2 is in development. That's fun. It was Jason Sudeikis and Jennifer Aniston. Emma Roberts was in it. Ed Helms was in it. Catherine Hahn, Nick Offerman. Wow. All-star cast. Very, very funny. If you know, you know. Luna Zumi loves We're the Millers. But isn't that what that's from? No regrets, not even one letter. It's a good point, Not Squirrel. Thanks for your super chat. Somebody said, looks like the jury is gonna take longer to reach a verdict than Proctor's investigation took. Yep. If it goes over 16 hours, you're all right. Still like Kathy Bates, says Judge Bev, says Ruth. Wedding Crashers is a great movie. Mrs. Bucket says, my favorite film is Where the Millers Are. I've never heard anyone else say they like it. I love that movie. Oh, it's so funny. So funny. And wait, is that the one where, no, that's not the one where they go to the brother-in-law's house and it's played by, I think that's like in a more recent version of Vacation, right? That's a really, the Vacation remake, I think was pretty funny too. Oh, see, Mrs. Bucket, we think alike. Great minds. Great minds. Anything happening over there on Twitter? We're on 12 hours now. Vince Vaughn would be a good Yanetti. Yep. Vaughn could be Yanetti. I know that Maureen Hancock is a medium and not a professional actor, but she does some comedic videos where she does like these fake auditions to play the judge, and they're really funny. Old School is a great movie. Well, Lisa has a great mind too. She always rewatches We're in the Millers too. Ted Daniels hasn't updated his tweets in 2 hours, says Patty Minko. Jeremy Piven as Jackson. Yeah, I put him on the list. I like that idea too. Thanks, Andrea Anti-Everything, for your super chat. AJ worked as a legal consultant for Ray Donovan on HBO. He did. I love that show. Love that show. You'd be great in a role like that. Yes, I'm here. I'm available. Well, when I'm not on YouTube, I'm available. By the way, thanks for a safe place to watch this trial. I live in Massachusetts. Thanks, Andrea. Thank you for thanking me. Martian Planet Art, thanks for the 5. Catherine O'Hara for Auntie Bev. I will put her on the list. She's hilarious. Caitlin Howard, thank you for your super sticker. Gaelic Magic, cheers to the memories and the years to come. Thank you, Gaelic Magic. Linda Vergata, thanks for coming in with a 5. Diane Keaton for Auntie Bev. A good one. Dream Team, Andrew Scott as AJ. They are twins. Interesting. Christian Bale as Yannetti. Ever since he played American Psycho, I just can't think of anything else when I see Christian Bale. But yeah, I see it. Dakota Fanning as Elizabeth Little. That's good ones, Darcy Dutes. Thanks for coming in with the 5. For those of you who didn't see it, I was a little annoyed at the New York Post yesterday because they are usually my go-to newspaper, but not anymore because they had an article yesterday about Karen Reed in the paper. We're going to pull it up and look at it. Then you can all go to the New York Post and leave your comments. But made me mad. Because there was so much misinformation in it. Commercial before we can even look at it. Oh, and then I click on the commercial, and then it takes me to that commercial's website. All right, so I'm going to let this play out. Thanks, Jason. Jason says, appreciate me. Just sent you a super chat on Uncivil's channel and calls him Melanie. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Anyway, I sent you an email. You sent me an email. It says, look at this clip, but there's nothing attached to it. There's no attachment. So I'm not really sure what you tried to send me. It says, what do you think? But there's nothing there. Sorry, Jason, but thanks for the super chat. And I'm sorry that you called uncivil Melanie. But again, what are you doing cheating on me? Why over there watching him instead of me? Why? Why? We're fighting it out here on the airwaves and you're going over there? Okay. Let's look at, here we go. Here's the New York Post article. But there's a video here. So since we're here and I already listened to the commercial, we might as well watch their video. Let's check it out.
With you, Ms. Gianetti, you've seen verdict slips exactly like this. Okay.
I actually haven't run.
Have you had no lesser includeds?
No, we've always had lesser included, but I have not seen a verdict slip there where not guilty is not an option for the rest of the
Okay. I disagree with you. All
I
right.
don't see the-
Excuse me. This is funny, Ms. Reed. All right. We're done.
All rise to the court, please.
All right, we're done. Oh no, I'm not giving them any airtime on here. No Nicolak on my channel. Yeah, I mean, the world saw that yesterday, and that was just so inappropriate. Really? I don't want to advertise for them. Though I did do a Nicolak commercial once. Where's the article? Here's the article. Dr. Wolf should play Alan Jackson. Somebody said that's a good one. The title of this New York Post article is Judge Slams Karen Reed for smirking at her as she awaits her fate in murder trial. This is funny. And they take this horrible picture of Karen and put it in here. It says Karen Reed was slapped down by a Massachusetts judge Wednesday for seemingly making a face during a discussion over key documents as the jury continued to deliberate her fate in the sensational murder trial. A video feed of the proceedings showed a seated Reed obscured by defense lawyer Alan Jackson, who was standing as he had been addressing the judge. Suddenly, Norfolk County Superior Court Judge Beverly Canoni stopped and said, "Excuse me, this is funny, Ms. Reed?" The back of Reed's head could be seen shaking back and forth. The judge responded, "All right, we're done." It wasn't clear what prompted Canoni to reprimand Reed. Jackson was contesting the verdict sheet that the jury must fill out, arguing that the wording would unfairly steer jurors towards a guilty verdict. But Canoni overruled Jackson's objection, saying it was the standard verdict sheet in Massachusetts. Standard verdict sheet in Massachusetts courts for this type of case. Later, the judge said she reconsidered Jackson's concern about the verdict sheet and read an additional instruction to the jury to clarify, also sending them a tweaked version of the form. Reed is charged with second-degree murder for allegedly mowing down her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, with her Lexus SUV after a night of drinking. Prosecutors claim she then left O'Keefe to die in the snow during a storm on January 28th of 2022. No. And then we just got a aw snap error code and it went off. That was weird. Guess they don't like the New York Post either. Boston Mass 781 says Karen was just laughing along with everyone else to Yanetti's comment. Everyone else smiled and laughed at his comment. Yep. Thank you, Jackson. It says Jackson as Jackson. Thanks for your super chat. Yeah, he could play himself. Why not? Jay McCarthy says Tom Ellis for AJ. Thanks for your super chat. Good choice. Siobhan says Ralph Macchio as Jackson. Bring back Vinny. That would be great. That would be great. That would be fitting, right? This is Douglas. Thanks for the 5. Saw a broken taillight recently coming off, and it was a clear piece like this one that covered the entire light, red and white areas. Are you talking about that piece we put up before that we couldn't figure out? And we still don't know what that round piece is because I don't think Lally ever tied that together. Thank you. Jennifer Johnson, thanks for the 5. Dean Winters, all states mayhem in the commercials for Alan Jackson. Look him up. Voices are even the same. Dean Winters. Okay. Put that on my list of things to do. Chloe Albert's Revenge. Thanks for the super chat. Sarah Michelle Geller. Could be Karen. I miss her. Yeah, where's she been? David Schwimmer for Lally. He hasn't done much lately. He doesn't need to. I mean, everyone from Friends has so much money from residuals that they don't need to ever work again. I did see something interesting. Did you see, speaking of Friends, Matthew Perry's death, they may be charging a number of people with his death. Something to do with the drugs that may or may not have been in his system when he died. So I found that interesting. I had that bookmarked to do maybe a show on. Kelly, thank you so much for your super chat for the 20. Thanks for hanging out with us. We have spent the week at St. Jude for my little man scans, but I got my BFF hooked on the case. 13th juror, easiest way. Now you're flying home with us. Say hi, Christy. Hi, Christy. Free Karen Reed. And I hope your son is okay and you're in the right place. St. Jude's is a wonderful, wonderful children's hospital. So prayers up for Kelly's son. Hi, Christy. Free Karen Reed. Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for your support. Honey 2800 says we should cast all unknowns, give him a break in the industry. That's good. That's a good idea. I like it. I like it. Monique Schmucker, Coach Mo, thanks for the 10. So grateful for you, Melanie. Just became a member. Oh, welcome, Monique. Watching in from Indiana. Hello, Indiana. Michelle Pfeiffer is your twin. Should play you for best coverage on YouTube. Thank you. That's so sweet. Love your Instagram and Amazon channels. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's a great way to support the channel, is to just shop for your regular stuff through Amazon, through my link, and I still somehow get credit for it. Like, you can shop for anything. It doesn't have to be the stuff that I recommend. It could be anything that you shop for. Because Amazon comes to my house at least once a day. Like, that's how much we rely on Amazon over here. Hey, Puck. Kelly Riley, Beth from Yellowstone for Karen. Oh, Kelly Riley. Okay. What's going on there? Nothing. Nothing on Court TV. Thanks, Puck. Ben George, a.k.a. Sugar Daddy, and not Brit's hubby. Thank you so much for the 20. Is Brit your current wife or your ex-wife? I'm curious now, Ben George. And thanks for the 20. Song for Jen, Queen of the Murder Scene by The Warning. You really don't want to be like me, a false pretension of being complete. You don't really want to understand what it's like to have blood on your hands. All right, I'll put that on the list. I have too many lists going on here. Too many tabs open and too many lists. The Warning. Awesome. Oh, Garrett's here. Garrett's in the chat. Garrett Wing is in the chat. Hi, Garrett. Thanks, Mrs. Bucket, for your super sticker. Thanks to Melanie Eves for becoming a new member. Welcome. Thank you, Blessed Mom from Texas. Melanie, I need to meet you in person. You're amazing. Such a classy woman. How did the girls' prom stuff go? It was awesome. Thank you for asking. Love to all cupcakes. Free Karen Reed. I believe the jury is taking their time. Karen Reed will be acquitted. Thank you, Blessed Mom from Texas, for putting those good, happy thoughts out there and for contributing for your super chat. Thank you. No, Beth Ellen, you are not. Beth Ellen says, am I the only one who saw Auntie Bev laugh before Karen Reed? Nope. Garrett, I reposted, I shared your video from yesterday. It was amazing. Max Bang says your info was fantastic. Dancing Bear. Theme song for Chet McCabe, going Hell in a Bucket. Hell in a Bucket. That's a good one, Dancing Bear. I like it. I'm sure they're going to take lunch off, right? So from 1 to 2, there's going to be nothing. We're going to take a break and come back. You just found Garrett Wing today? Good, classy girl. He's amazing. He's really amazing. Got some excellent dog training videos. And he's now starting a new channel. So go over there and check him out. Yeah, at least I'm enjoying the ride. I know, Jason. I feel you. Well, here's some more verdicts. Thanks, Cal, for sending this to me. We talked about Casey Anthony was an 11-hour verdict, not guilty. Kyle Rittenhouse, the jury was out for 27 hours, not guilty. OJ was out for 4 hours. That jury was not guilty. Johnny Depp for 12 hours. It says not guilty here on this post. I'm sure, I know it wasn't yours, but I think that Johnny Depp was a civil case. So he was found not liable. George Zimmerman, 16 hours, not guilty. Robert Blake, 35 hours, not guilty. And this is Aussie Insider posted this. Michael Jackson, 32 hours, not guilty. Jodi Arias, 15 hours, guilty. Alex Murdaugh, 4 hours, guilty. Robert Durst, 7 hours, guilty. Derek Chauvin, 10 hours, guilty. Darrell Brooks, 3 hours, guilty. Brandon Dassey, 4 hours, guilty. And Adnan Syed, 4 hours, guilty. So that's interesting. And they've had no opportunity to talk to each other during all of this testimony and everything. And it was a lot. It was 30 days worth of testimony. So, Thanks to everyone who's sending me emails during the stream, but if they're not relevant to what I'm talking about, I'm going to have to look at it later. So there's that. Oh, Jason, I can't download anything right now. It's just going to take too long and I don't have the time. What say you, my friends? What say you? It's 12:19. I mean, if they're going to come back before lunch, they're going to have to do it soon, sooner than later. Let's see if there's anything. On the airwaves about this. I'm not seeing it. I mean, they're taking their time. They're taking their time. Kamala, thank you for the 5. There's an interesting case in Florida, Duval County, murder for hire, Jose Baez for Shanna Gardner. It's a death penalty case. Baez had a huge news conference. I covered the Shanna Gardner case at least once or twice. I have a playlist on it. And she is the Stampin' Up heiress who is charged with conspiracy to commit the offing of her ex-husband, Jared Bridegan. It is a very interesting case, and I have been covering it. So there was a huge news conference on it. All right, cool. Maybe we'll go back to that at some point. Thank you, Kamala, for letting me know. Leandra, good morning. Thanks for the 5. I was on the federal Aryan Brotherhood trial, March from September to 2006. It changed my life. Looking at evil in the eyes was unsettling. Wow. Yeah, I know what you mean, because that time that I went to court for the Rex Heuermann, the accused Lisk, he turned around. I was in the third row. He looked right at me, and it was like staring evil in the eyes. And I know that feeling. There's a vibe, right? It was like evil entering the room. Emmy Lennon, thanks for the 20. Hugh Jackman for AJ. Tony Goldwyn for Unity. Thank you. I was thinking of Tony Goldwyn too. Wallace Shawn for Lally. Professor Young Sheldon. Thanks, Emmy Lennon. All good choices. We'll get to those later. We're on Karen right now. Nikki Johnson, thanks for the 10. I basically rolled in Poison Oak. I dreamed Alan Jackson and Yannetti were with me at CVS while I was buying Benadryl Dream. Oh, that is hilarious, Nikki. Funny how this case starts to kind of take over your life when you're so passionate about it and thinking about it all the time, and you can't sleep and you can't do anything else, and it takes up a lot of your time. I know what you're saying, Nikki, but that's so funny that you're dreaming about Alan Jackson and Yannetti being at CVS, buying Benadryl with you. Fancy RPG. Oh, and thanks, Nikki, for the super chat. Thanks for your super chat from Canada. I do web UX, and that jury form is so confusing, right? So confusing. I thought it was so confusing too. So who knows if they're sitting in there looking at it like, what do we even do with this? Blythe Danner for Auntie Bev, says Christine Wilcox. Thank you. Thank you for that. We have less choices for the supporting characters than we do for, let's say, Karen. I think we have 700 choices, but let's see what the poll is up to now. Let's see. I mean, you know what's going to happen the second I go off the air. That's when the verdict will come in. It's kind of tight. The race is kind of tight. We have 3,500 votes only. So if you guys want to vote, I'll leave it up a little while longer. Jennifer Garner is currently in the lead with 39% of the vote. And it disappeared too quickly for me to see who else is in. Claire Danes at 19%, Anne Hathaway at 25%, Jennifer Garner at 38%, and Eliza Dushku only has 18%. So leave it up for a few more minutes if anybody else wants to vote. And that's just round one of the Karen fake casting, because we have so many options. Cale Burke, thank you for coming in from Canada with the super chat. Jason Bateman as AJ. Oh, I love Jason Bateman. He needs a job, right? Is he doing anything right now? Because Ozark is over, and that's also an amazing show. If you have not watched Ozark, I highly recommend. Highly recommend. Amazing in all aspects. The writing, the acting, the drama, the suspense. It's fantastic. Oh, I know Siegler has MS. That's why I mentioned her. She still acts, does she? Christina Applegate doesn't act anymore, right? They have a podcast together. Messy. I have MS, so I follow all the MS celebs. Oh, we should all go give a listen to their podcast. Can we find it on YouTube, or is it like a Spotify thing? Thank you, KL Burke. Puck. Beth from Yellowstone. Kelly Riley for Karen Reed. Yeah, I wrote that down. Thanks, Puck. Rosanna Dana for Judge Bev. R.I.P. Gilda Radner. Thanks, Kim Chaos. Jackson is Jackson, said Jack Rooney. I like that. Johnny Depp for Jen McCabe, says Nina. Thanks, Nina. Julia, thanks for the 5. As Get Industries on YouTube has some great 3D model explanation videos that shows has made using evidence shown in court. That is awesome. I wouldn't play their content without permission, but that's cool. People can go check that out. Not right now, but later. Thanks, Carrie, for becoming a new member. This jury is waiting for 227 to give the verdict, says Kai. Maybe. Could you imagine? That would be crazy. Lori's Crazy Life, thank you for the super sticker. Ella, Sally Port, played by herself in reverse. Good one, Ella. I see what you did there. Thanks for the super chat. CZ, Jennifer Lawrence or Margot Robbie for Karen. Oh, yeah, those are good choices. Actually, we did not have Jennifer Lawrence on the list. Nobody mentioned Jennifer Lawrence, CZ. J-Law. She was filming a movie recently over here by us, and we saw the set every day. We would drive by it when I was taking a daughter to a sport practice. And the movie was not that great. It was a comedy. I I didn't think it was that great. I love Jennifer Lawrence, but it was not a great comedy. It was like some rich parents hired her through a Craigslist ad to be the boyfriend for their son, and it wasn't that great. I forget the name of it. Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie can play anybody. She's really like, did you see her play Tanya Harding? That was crazy. She was so good. And then she's like Barbie. Like she's like a chameleon. Janny O, thanks for the super chat. In closing, Lally posted 2 car pics side by side and said one was before and it was towed with snow on. I never saw that picture before. Did you? That was the one that was in the body cam footage of the police officer that came to do the welfare check on the niece and nephew of John O'Keefe at One Meadows at something like 8 a.m. when Karen was in the hospital being held on a Section 12. And they never really got into it again, except at closing. And then he zoomed in on it and it looked like it was covered in snow. But he was saying it was shattered then. So I don't know. Thanks. You rock, by the way. Thanks, Janio. If anybody in the chat wants to chime in on that, that is interesting. Thanks, Kamala. We just read that. Robert De Niro for Mr. Reed, says Chloe Albert's Revenge. Thanks. It just did. Became a new member. Welcome, welcome. Nancy New, thanks for your super chat. Jodie Comer as Karen Reed, British master of accents. She really is. That's a great show too. Killing Eve. For those of you who don't know, now you know. Martian Planet Art, thank you for the 10. David Cross for Lally and Bill Burr for Matt McCabe. Good choices both. Thank you for the super chat. Jess Martha Kelly played in Euphoria for Jen McCabe. Excellent. Thanks, Jess. I'm going to have to go back later and rewatch to get all these lists together. Chloe Albert's Revenge. Thanks for the 5. I've been protective of Yannetti because I crush on him a little bit. But Tony Goldwyn is a good choice. Yeah. I don't think I even started a Yannetti list yet. Tony Goldwyn. Tony Goldwyn played the president on Scandal, which was a great show with Kerry Washington. It's a Shonda Rhimes show. I loved that show, Scandal. And now he's the DA. He took over for Jack McCoy on the reboot of the original Law and Order. Glenn Close as Auntie Bev. Do I have her on the list? Thank you. She might be outside the range, but I don't know. Tanya, thanks for becoming a new member. Kim, Heather Morris for Karen. I don't know Heather Morris. To come back and look at that later. Thanks. Thanks, Kim. Christina, Sienna Miller for Karen Reed. That's interesting. Thanks, Christina, for your super chat. What do we think, guys? Do we have any breaking? There's no breaking news. Leo DiCaprio for Yannetti. Tina Carvey for Turtle Boy. Gwyneth Paltrow for Garen. Ben Stein for Lally. Bueller. Anyone? Bueller. Says Laughing Coyote. Thanks. Thanks for your super chat. Thanks for your super chat. All right, so here's where our poll stands with almost 4,000 votes. Claire Danes in at 19%. Why does it close so quickly and then I can't reopen it? The only choice it gives me is to end the poll. Claire Danes is at 19%, Anne Hathaway 25%, Jennifer Garner and Eliza Dushku. Jennifer Garner at 39%. So Jennifer Garner is the winner of round 1. Winner, chicken dinner. I'm going to end that poll now. Okay. And that is our first round winner. Jennifer Garner's 52, says Magnolia Gypsy. Well, then she's outside the range. We might have to do that again. have to do some more research in all my spare time and go figure out how old everybody is and then put them back in the running and then we'll have to do it again. As Lally would say, ay, ay, ay. Isn't that what he said in Aussie Insider's video? Bradford, Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad for Turtle Boy Aiden. That's a good choice, Bradford. Good choice. Thanks for the 10. Please look over the Madeline Soto case. You know, that case breaks my heart. I'm gonna come back and star that, but I'll tell you why. Okay. Praying for Karen, says Colleen St. Ange. Thank you, Colleen, for coming in with a $20 super chat. You're so generous always to this stream. I have MS and stress is very bad for it. I know. We're all prayers up, everyone, for Karen. Let's hear some prayers in the chat. And today is the why can I think of it? Is it the name day for Our Lady of Perpetual Help? It was all about miracles and prayer. So thank you, Colleen. I appreciate you. Kayla, is that how I pronounce your name? Kayla Duplessis says, please look over the Madeline Soto case in Florida. 13-year-old mother, boyfriend accused of, abusing her and grooming and, and it's horrifying. And then she was found dead and he is now charged with her death. And it's horrific. The cases with kids like that really get to me. And I've stayed away from it. And I see a lot of men covering it. And I don't like the way it's being covered. I don't like the way, people are saying, oh, she definitely would have told someone. She absolutely would have told someone, Madeline Soto. She totally would have told someone. Someone out there knows what happened to her. And I'm like, I've been working with victims my entire career. And no, she definitely, absolutely, probably did not tell anybody. Yeah. Right. Sharon says no, Madeline Soto case. So many survivors / victims never disclosed to anyone. When I handled all the cases against the Rockville Center Diocese here in New York for at least 50 or 60 victims / survivors of clergy SA, all of them were adults and many of them had never told a soul. I mean, there's so much shame and guilt involved in being a victim or survivor of especially childhood SA that so many never disclose. Kim, Heather Morris was in Glee, So Help Me Todd. Oh, my friend Inga Schlingman was in Go Help Me Todd. And she played Susan. Hey, Inga. You're probably not watching, girl, because you're out there making a new TV series. And So Help Me Todd got canceled. And I was so bummed because it was Inga's first series regular role. And she was so amazing in that show. And then I was so happy to hear that she was cast in another CBS series about doctors. And I forget the name of it. Sorry, Inga, if you're watching, but you're not. Unless you're sitting in your trailer, just bored. But that's great. I'll look. You know what? Since you name dropped the So Help Me Todd, I'm gonna look her up. Did she play the sister, Todd's sister? Because that was a great show, and I love Marcia Gay Harden. I love Marcia Gay Harden in anything. So I was bummed that got canceled, but I was so happy to see that Inga got another job. Have you watched Presumed Innocent on Apple TV? I believe that I have. Let me just give it a quick look up. Also, Your Honor. If you guys haven't watched Your Honor with Bryan Cranston, go watch it. That's amazing. And it shows exactly how this kind of thing may happen and how a parent may do anything to save their child from being convicted of a murder. Presumed Innocent was with Jake Gyllenhaal. Did I watch this yet? Peter Sarsgaard? Skarsgård? Ruth Negga? Tells the story of a horrific murder that upends the Chicago prosecuting attorney's office when one of its own is suspected of the crime. I may not have seen this one. The one I'm thinking of is the one about the young boy. It's good. You recommend? Wasn't there a John Grisham book called Presumed Innocent that was made into a movie years and years ago? Thanks, Kevin, for the suggestion. I need something to watch right now because I got to get off of YouTube and like be distracted by something else that doesn't involve YouTube. Auntie Shell's Kitchen. Melanie, can you check out the Black Swan case from Florida? I was horrified when I read about it. Yep. I am looking into that. The trial's supposed to be coming up soon, right? The Black Swan case. Isn't she the ballerina? So I think that might conflict with Alec Baldwin. So we need to decide what you guys want to watch. If you want to watch the Black Swan case, her name escapes me right now. That trial or the Alec Baldwin trial. And Dowd for Auntie Bev. That's a great suggestion, Siobhan. I like it. I love Handmaid's Tale. I love Ann Dowd. She's amazing. She is amazing. Thanks, Sharon Leventhal. Definitely Amy Schumer for Bev. New member. Love this space. Thank you. We try and create a safe space. And right now, this is like a Seinfeld episode. This entire 2.5-hour show has been about nothing, really, but except for we're just here to chat with each other. We watch some funny videos from Auntie Deb and Aussie Insider. We're just fake casting a fake miniseries. But Amy Schumer is the good one. Thanks, Sharon. There's nothing happening over there. Absolutely nothing. No notes. Black Swan. You like that one, Anthony? I feel like everybody's going to be covering Alec Baldwin and it might not get enough attention. Cynthia, ever seen her in Hereditary? Compliance, she's amazing. And Dowd. I think I did see Hereditary. I love thrillers. I'm a big horror movie girl. I love them. Yes, Carrie. Carrie says, oops. I love your honor. OMG, it's the Alberts. It's great. It's great. Season 1, I think I liked better. I don't know if I even finished season 2, to be honest, but season 1 is amazing. And Bryan Cranston is amazing and deserves all the awards. Mrs. Wild, Presumed Innocent is excellent. Good. Throw some stuff in the chat for us to watch on other streamers because some of us need to get off YouTube because it can be all-consuming, exhausting, all-consuming, insane. Max Bang says, my friend never told anyone about clergy essay until he was 54. Yep. Yep. You know, the nature of that type of crime is that people do not disclose. They just don't. Black Swan. Thank you, Leah. Thank you for your vote. Kathy Bates is Aunt Bev. She played Aunt Bev in Big Bang Theory. That's good, Scott. You know about Big Bang Theory? Twitter said the jurors' lunch just arrived. Okay, but it's 12:38. No to Alec Baldwin. Not interested in this one. Okay, good, good. Seinfeld mode. I love Seinfeld. We are in Seinfeld mode. We got puffy shirts. We got puffy jackets. We've got Vandalay Industries came into the chat one day. And why are we talking about Vandalay Industries? I can't remember. Who was the witness that brought that up? The Bear. Love it. Love it, Kathleen McGinnis. The Bear. The Bear is a great show. It's not about a bear. It's about a guy who was a chef in a high-end restaurant who comes back to Philadelphia to work in a cheesesteak shop that his family owns. And that was a really good show. If you've ever worked in a kitchen or been a chef or worked in a restaurant, it could be a little triggering for you because it brings back all the high-end energy of working in a restaurant stress. But yeah, I really liked it. Bradford, Allie Larder or Alicia Silverstone for Karen. Thanks, Bradford 287. Some good choices here. You guys are really getting creative with your casting choices. I love it. I love it. Janine Hester says, I think the jury will wait until tomorrow. Through for the weekend and holiday week next week. Oh, is it already like 4th of July? Yeah, JHT4 says, I'm a chef and that show gives me PTSD. I can see that. The Bear takes place in Chicago. Sorry, Sugarland Deb. I know you guys always politely correct me when I'm wrong because, you know, I can't remember everything. But yeah, I don't know why I thought Chicago. I guess I thought Chicago. I mean, I thought Philadelphia because it was a cheesesteak place that they own, right? Kinda. I don't know. Meat sandwiches. I think that's meat sandwich, not Baldwin. All right, good. I'm glad you guys are not against Baldwin. because I mean, a lot of people don't like Alec Baldwin anyway, but I don't know. I have kind of a hard time with that case as an actor myself. You know, if you're given a gun by a prop person whose job it is to make sure there's not loaded, I don't know. I haven't dug into it enough. I mean, definitely there should be a civil case against him, but I don't know how I feel about a criminal case against him. So I don't know if I'm that passionate about it either. Amber King, this is a great point. Does anybody know how the jury is dressed today? Because on verdict day, the jurors usually come in dressed up because many of them are going to do media interviews. We saw that in the Maya Kowalski case. When it was a juror number 1 who got so much crap in that case, came all dressed up for court. People theorized that it could be a verdict day. You may remember all of the flack, I'm going to call it, that juror number 1 took after the verdict in that case, because they came back with, oh my gosh, you guys, my mind is losing. I'm losing my mind. $260 million verdict against Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, something like that. And juror number 1's wife happened to be in some YouTubers' chats talking about the case. And after the verdict, the defense tried to get into like all of this stuff with juror number 1. They made him come in and like testify under oath. Like it was crazy. It was so crazy. They upended this juror's life and wanted to get a hold of his text messages and stuff. It was nuts. So that was a civil case, and that is what happened there. Hello from Glastonbury. Hello to Glastonbury. Hello, Sharon. Thank you for the super chat. Where everything is more normal than Canton, we are all checking in for the verdict. Well, we're here. There's been nothing happening this morning. They came into court at the regular time at 9 and said, okay, jury, just go deliberate, and that's it. So there's nothing happening yet, but we'll be here for it. We're going to take a lunch break, and then we'll come back on another stream. Chronically Healthier, thanks for the 5. Judith Light for Auntie Bev. Oh, I love Judith Light. Jason Beggy, and maybe that's a typo, and Chris Noth as McAlberts. Joe Spano as Karen's dad. Thank you, Chronically Healthier. And I'm so happy that you're chronically healthier. Good for you. Linda McDonald Fitness. Thank you for the 10. Love your show, Melanie. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Presumed Innocent on Apple TV is great. I also went back and watched the movie with Harrison Ford. It still stands up. Prayers for Karen. Okay, so it is based on the same, it's a John Grisham book, right? Cool. Cool. I didn't realize they remade that. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. My Local Wars, Wisconsin. Thanks for the 20. My heart breaks for Brendan Dassey. His case is so similar to Karen Reed's case with police corruption. I started Local Wars, Wisconsin YouTube channel to tell my own story with the local government. Started it yesterday. All right, everyone. Shout out to Local Wars, Wisconsin. Go over there. Give his channel, his or her channel, a look, and you're going to tell your own story. I like it. I'm not familiar with Brendan Dassey, but when I have some free time, maybe I'll get a chance to look into it. Thank you. Thank you for coming in with the super chat. Not a Kane, not a Karen. Thank you for your super sticker. And Mrs. Douglas says, too bad she's so old. Meredith Baxter Burney for Bev. How old could she be, Meredith Baxter Burney? She's from Family Ties, right? Wasn't she the mom in Family Ties? Barbie Stories. Thank you for the $10 super sticker. You're so sweet. Dewey. Thanks, Barbie Stories. Dewey. Check out the case from Northwest Arkansas. Dr. Brian Hyatt. It'll be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest too, I promised. All right, Dr. Brian Hyatt. All right, so does anybody know what's happening over there? Like, are they going to go to lunch now? What are they doing? What are they doing? Thank you, CZ, for buying a matcha latte, says Jennifer Lawrence or Margot Robbie for Karen. All strong, beautiful women. Good choices. Good choices. Cake Lady, thanks for buying a matcha latte, and says Ellen Pompeo for Karen. That's an interesting choice. Thank you. Barbara, thank you for the Venmo, and says thank you for all you do to help us now navigate this sanely. We're trying over here. We're trying. Patty sends a cash app and says Amanda Bynes. Interesting choice. Thanks, Patty. And Maureen Francis, if I was remiss in thanking you, thank you again for the Cash App. I appreciate you always, always. And Justin, thank you so much for the Cash App. And I'm thinking that they're going to lunch, you guys. I think nothing's going to happen until after 2:00. So I feel like we may need to all take a breather for a little bit. So let's do that. I'm going to be watching on my end, and I will, if not before, if it happens before 2:00, I'll just come back live right away. So make sure that you hit the notification bell and you hit the subscribe button so that you do not miss a thing. Let me just see if there are any late breaking things here that we need to know. Ted Daniel, it's been 2 hours for Ted Daniel since he's posted anything, and at least it was both sides can leave the building at 10. Defense team just walked out of the courtroom. They have Church Hall across the street to wait. And that's it. That's it. So we're on verdict watch, guys. We're going to take a little lunch break. Come back around 2. Something happens before that, I'm just going to go live without notice. So make sure you're on top of it. Margaret Hamilton, Wicked Witches, Jen says, Emmy Lennon, thanks for the 10. And Tiffany Wade, thank you so much. The lady that was crying came in pink today. I don't know who that was, Tiffany Wade, but I'll go check it out. Thank you for your super chat. All right, you guys, let's everybody keep breathing, and I'll see you at or after 2:00. I'm just going to come on. So, have your notification set, hit the bell, hit the notification thingy, hit the like button. Let's do all the things, the YouTube-ish things that YouTube wants you to do. So we get out there. We'll come back, suffer some more of this afternoon together, and hopefully we'll hear some news by the end of today because it is Thursday. And I think they're going to want to be out of here by the weekend. I think. So thank you, moderators, for hanging in there for this 2-hour and 48-minute stream. You are always so appreciated by me. You guys are the best moderators on YouTube. You know it. You keep the chat classy. Subscribers, viewers, replay viewers, love you all. Remember, as I always say to end every stream, be cool, be kind, be classy. It is not hard. I promise you, it is so not hard. Peace out. I'll see you guys later this afternoon. Take a break.